Hello? Hello, hello. Hello? Hello, hello. Alright, we sound okay. How's everyone doing? Audio check's okay. No camera today. Just got home from work. Very rushed, so I didn't have time to set up the camera and the lights and stuff, so we're just doing what we're doing here. So, we got a challenge update. That's interesting. It looks neat, but I gotta relearn it. Shuffling the people. Had some people say they're gonna be late. This looks okay. This looks okay. I'm gonna put Chalk down here with Slaanesh though, because Chalk said he was gonna be late and Slaanesh said he was gonna be late. So no point making Calamity wait for them. So we should be good to go. Do you have a new player tournament? Like we do every week. Yeah. We're doing the format we did last week in the NA time zone, this time in the EU time zone, where we do a combined, so it's not just new players, it's new players and then Bone Rippers, which are Rat Ogres that won a tournament. It would have felt mean to do that in the NA time zone and not give the EU Bone Rippers a chance. So, we're doing that. Salinator, Pigman are both pretty potent players. I'd have to say Salinator's probably the favorite here in this run. Yeah, he's just good. He's real good. Pigman 202 and Stormrunner are also quite solid. Stormrunner's one of my mods. He mostly just plays quick battles and fucks around, but he can be spooky when he tries. So, I'd still expect Salinator to probably win, but we'll see. It's best of one, double Elam bracket. Should go pretty quickly overall. That's what I got. That's what I have for you. My VPN is on Belgium. I do not speak French. Their ads are wasted on me. Oh no. Oh no! Patrick, sounds like you have to hurry, man. 2i for the bingo matchup? Hell yeah, Great Book Grudges, got you. Is there a dress code for watching your streams? No. Nope, I just didn't have time to set up the lights and everything. So. You should do a bingo for spells in the future. Great Book of Grudges, I'm sensing you might like spells. I'm thinking it's actually potentially possible that you are a fan of spells. Anyway. Blocker for today is just a generic picture I pulled up because the thumbnail for today's stream was the one I used last week. And that is long since deleted, so I just grabbed a rando. It's a makeshift stream today. We're just out here doing our best, living our best life. I have a very large, I have a Moscow Mule, but no vodka, so it's a mocktail. But ginger beer, cranberry, lime juice. Oh, good. Lame? What's lame? What happened? Little Trill, easy. Easy dub. Brutus, you signed up for the tournament. It seems like I got kicked out. You didn't check in! Brutus, you didn't check in! Here, one sec. Alright, y'all are gonna have to help me out. So participants. Brutus. And what happens when I bring him back to life? Because there used to be a way to do it, but challenge got changed. Okay. So we need ICG and Blags, and then we'll have Brutus. It's exactly the same, but I added Brutus back in. All right, Brutus, if you're still in YouTube chat, I brought you with me, right? Yeah, I did. You're right here. So you're going to fight the winner of whoever's on stream right now, and I just I slotted you in there. You're drinking on a Wednesday noon? There's no vodka in it. It's just ginger beer and cranberry juice and lime. Which ginger beer is not like a real beer. It doesn't have any alcohol in it. What up, Samarak? How you doing? Brutus, luckily for you, this week's tournament's on Challenge and not Total Tavern, because I am much more comfortable with Challenge. I usually know how things work. Total Tavern, I'd have no fucking idea how to slot you in here. I would have no idea. Oh, the photo, Doc? Fair. That's fair. You're drinking gin on Wednesday? I see there's no winning here. So I'll just take the L. I guess I'm getting smashed on a weekday. I guess that's just what's happening now. Hey, BF Flyer, how you doing? Manuel, also long time no see. And you still don't see me, because I don't have my camera on. So take that. I don't know if I streamed too much of ICG's games. He was recently on our bingo event. But that was more of a for fun stream. I don't know if I've caught him in a tournament. If I have, then I forgot. There's a lot of names for me to remember. Wags we see decently often on stream. He's a Chad. He's a Chad, a memer. No matter how hard I try to get him to take casters, he does 65% of the time, which is not enough. You need to take a caster 100% of the time. Oh, Wags. But it's Wags. So we accept him as he is. Plays a lot of Wood Elves. Have you tried mead? I actually have not. One of my friends really likes mead. Make right face. Why you bully me? Why you bully me? Don't bully me. What's the cost of glittering robe? 3? I don't know if that's true. That doesn't sound true. It's 6. Samrak is 6. It's not 3. What are you, insane? Not that it'd be OP. Glittering Robe is such a weird spell, but it is just funny. I don't know of any spell that's naturally 3. Maybe Power of Darkness. How'd the last match go? This would be the first match, so I don't know. I just work here. Maybe in campaign get lowered to 3? Maybe. Samurek is also well known to be a liar, a thief, and a charlatan. I've been on the fence about banning Samurek several streams in a row, but he's never quite given me the reason. Maybe this time. Maybe today he'll fuck up. Wags keeps swapping around. I don't know what's going on. ICG's been chilling on High Elves for a while, so I have to assume that he picked High Elves and Wags is just considering his options. Armor of Darkness, but it also gives you 20% missile resist. God, Samurai. You are the bane of my existence, friend. What's the overcast of Armor of Darkness? I don't know. Let's find out. Armor of Darkness, overcast makes it area of effect. Goes from 7 to 11 winds of magic. Which isn't terrible, but the problem with most buff spells is the circle you need to get the upgrade is so small that it can pretty much... In a normal battle where you're playing well, it can only affect one unit. Because for most buff and debuff spells to affect multiple units, you need to be in a blob, which is inherently a mistake. Especially as Skaven, because your leadership's so low, you can't like hold in a blob of any kind, and you don't have overlapping auras like maybe Nurgle or Warriors of Chaos do. But again, in general, blobs aren't particularly good. They're better at lower levels of play, but the problem with blobs in general is if you're fighting an opponent who has a high level build. Like there's a, and before you get all mad at me, there was a reason that I've never seen Alfredino and Razel in finals of the faction war play a blob, or like Blood Penguin versus like the Phoenix King play a blob, right? You just never see blobs at the highest level of tournaments. And the reason for that is you cede way too much battlefield control when you're blobbing. Blobs rely on the opponents not having X. Sometimes X is a big single entity punishing spell like Flensing Ruin or Foul Transmutation. Sometimes X is no infantry punishing spells with armor piercing like Heart of Winter or Pendulum or Pit of Shades or something like that. Sometimes X is not having good enough single entity duelists to like, you know, charge through things. Whatever it is. But at the high levels of play, their builds are going to be constructed in such a way that they have a bit of everything. Like I made a video on it, what makes a good build. So you have tools to deal with anything. So if something is a blob, you just have to optimize your skirmish cav, your single entities, and your spells to destroy it. And blobs only really work if the opponent build is deficient. Now sometimes it's faction deficient, right? There's factions that literally don't have enough missiles to punch through a blob like Slaanesh. There's factions that don't have good enough single entities or spells to punish a blob. None are coming to mind right now, but like those examples. But that's also why you don't see those factions at high levels of play, is because they're insufficient in one aspect, so players are not going to take them. So all that to say, like, buff and debuff spells are much better at lower levels of play. At the high levels of play, to get buff and debuff spells to be actually effective, they need to have areas of effect large enough to cover a realistic battlefield scenario, where you're actually contesting space on the map, you're contesting flanks, you're contesting the edges of the map so you can guard against. If your units are routing, you need control of the flanks to peel off the pursuers and get your unit back. Or if you're the one doing the routing, you need control of the flanks so that anything you route off can be picked apart. Which buff and debuff spells are just useless for, unfortunately. And then on the frontline fight, you're usually spread out because you want to cover enough space to really pressure your enemy, and buff and debuff spells are going to hit, one fucking guy. Even if you overcast, it's going to hit one guy. Which is like a huge thing. Like, a lot of people who want buff and debuff spells to be good are in camps of either make them much cheaper than damage or healing spells, or make them way wider areas of effect and maybe lower the stat increase. Right? So, like, instead of minus 24, 24, maybe do minus 12, minus 12, but then, like, double the area, so it can maybe hit 2 or 3 infantry units. And then buff and debuff spells will be meta and pretty, you know, viable. What's the cost of Maw? Maw is 20 base. I think Overcast is 28. Constellation, no idea. Alright, good job, Patrick. You fucking did it. Oh god, that is a long name. I'm just gonna call you Veron. Yeah, extended duration would be nice. I think most people would prefer them to be significantly cheaper than direct damage spells, or for the area to be increased, but you could also increase the duration. That's fair. Some of them already have decent durations, though. Harmonic Convergence doesn't fuck around on its duration. It's just single target. Though actually, Harmonic Convergence is low-key, actually kind of good. The problem is it's a part of a lore that isn't very good. Heaven's Magic isn't particularly thriving at the moment, so you don't see a lot of Harmonic Convergence. But if Heaven's Magic had better spells, you could see Harmonic Convergence being a frequent second spell, because it kind of bangs, but the lore in general is struggling. All right. We ended up with Warriors of Chaos versus the High Elves. On the front line for the High Elves, we have 4 Spearmen, 3 White Lions of Krace, one of which is a Pure Main Company, and another Spearman in the very far back, 2 Lothern Seaguard, and a Sister of Avalorn. The Rahagra's Pride is the only nobility presence. We have a Mage of Life on horseback with Regrowth and Earthblood, and of course, Imric on his Star Dragon. On the other side, Archaon the Everchosen, Spirit Leech, and Searing Doom for his spells. Looks like we have 2 Chaos Knights, bunch of Chaos Warriors with Halberds, and Marauders as the front line, with backing up Chaos Warriors and Chaos Warriors of Slaanesh with Hell Scourges. It is a man-tide. The Warriors of Chaos relying on just blood, faith, and steel to get them through this. Isn't it gunpowder, faith, and steel? No, they don't have gunpowder, so it's blood. It's just the blood in their little bodies coursing through their veins. Sisters of Avalorn trying to punish Archaon, but Bwags put him in the trees to stay safe, and then he comes out for a little bit, and then he goes back into the trees to stay safe. And so far, the charge from the Chaos Knights actually does more damage to them, because the White Lions do have great armor-piercing values to fight back, and Rahagra's Pride dove over and made them regret it. But more Chaos Knights are coming. And so far, overall, I'm liking Bwags' deployments. He's mostly doing what you need to do when you have more infantry than the enemy, just like walking around them. We do have 1 blob forming here, that's unfortunate, but elsewhere we saw Halberds walk around. These Chaos Warriors are trying to thread through, and you just need to not pile up, especially against High Elves, you need to not pile up on their front line, because these Spearmen aren't going anywhere. They have insane melee defense, which is like, it's their faction identity, I get it, but they do have insane melee defense, so you're not going to get through them very quickly. A nice recharge from Chaos Knights did do some decent damage, though, followed up by a Searing Doom on a different blob of 2 High Elf units. And Bwags is trying to make his way through. Damage value is climbing in favor of Chaos as Archaon chases off Rahagra's Pride, and the Chaos Knights are continuing to just try and be as annoying as possible on the backline. Imric is going to have to hard carry this game. Does he have breath attacks? Still has 2, which could be useful against any doubled up Chaos Warriors. But man, these Chaos Knights are doing good work. I'm really liking their charging up and down, up and down, up and down. White Lions routing along with the Spearmen on this lower flank, but another Spearman brought from the backline is here to ruin the party. Overcasted Earthblood healing up Imric, but more importantly the infantry. He is supporting. More Chaos Warriors and Halberds are getting onto the Lothern Seaguard. The Sisters of Avalorn are under attack by Archaon. He doesn't have Burning Head, so he can't instantly delete them, but he'll do decent work on his own. Imric's up in the sky. Here comes a nasty breath attack, but the angle makes me concerned. It still did good damage to the enemy, but a little bit of poke onto the Spearmen that we don't love as much. Now, the Chaos Knights have taken a lot of damage for their efforts in the backfield. They're fighting a lot of units with spears, despite really good cycle charging. Still going to get bogged down with spears, and White Lions are tearing apart the other Chaos Knights. Damage value is getting a lot more equal, and that is scary for Chaos because the High Elves have healing, so you're going to need a damage value lead if you're going to win the game, which, to be fair, they have. I'm just saying it's closing. High Elf front line is starting to falter. Imric being at full health is the main thing the High Elves still have, and he and any other Dragon character really don't like to just sit in mass amounts of infantry and fight. So he's going to have to find some way to turn this battle around. His last breath attack is going to have to be really, really good. And he's going to have to probably kill Archaon to lower the Chaos leadership enough that he can actually kill them off. Overcasting Earthbloods from this Mage of Life has lowered her health quite a bit, making her almost rout from overcast damage. And Imric does end up landing in the Chaos Knights. Just trying to get some damage out on them, but not fast enough. I do suspect this is going to come up to a late game where it's Imric versus a lot of stuff, and he's going to get dragged down. That's the future I foresee. The Pyramid Company are still really healthy. But either the Chaos Knights or Archaon himself should probably run down that Mage of Life, because without her, this game is doomed for the High Elves, but she's going to get some distance. She's going to be fine. No infantry could chase her down, because obviously she's on a horse. She's much faster. And Archaon's in. Lord of Dragons is popped onto Archaon, giving him only 40 melee attack? He has something else going on. Okay, the Armor of Morcar helps out his stats a bit. Imric backs off, that's fine. These Chaos Knights are almost dead from his efforts. Other one's almost dead too. And if he can get a nasty breath attack on this giant blob, that could be huge. Let's see how it goes. Pretty good. Pretty good. Took a lot of health off those halberds. Now, the Mage of Life probably has to undercast some Earthbloods here. To keep the White Lions healthy, they've been doing a lot of work, but also to heal herself and still heal Imric a little bit. Without those overcasts to keep damaging her, and without regrowth to, like, just heal up your mage and then leave everything else out in the wind. So I really want to see a lot of undercasted Earthbloods in this area. Spirit Leech from Archaon as he dives in. No buffs are available for him at the moment, though, so Imric might be able to just crawl away. It looks like he will. And Rahagra's Pride being alive in late game is also pretty crucial. Once again, if you can kill Archaon, these guys with their Mighty Roar plus the Terror Routes from Imric could actually secure you this game. In the distance, Slaanesh and Seaguard are rallying on the hills. One's firing at Chaos Warriors, the other one's getting run the fuck down by Chaos Knights. Not enjoying that whatsoever. Imric is back in onto Archaon, gets 2 huge charges as he has Star Lance up, giving him 520 weapon strength, plus the charge bonus he gets from jumping in. And where is that Lifecaster? Where is the Lifecaster? Did she die? Oh my god, she shattered. No, she didn't shatter, she died. There she is. How did she die? That's a disaster for the High Elves. I really like ICG trying to snipe out Archaon here. He gets really good damage value, and he's routing off a ton of stuff. But however that Life Mage died, massive mistake. Oh, he's going to want that one back. All right. Pyramid Company have done a lot of work, and they'll have to continue to do so. Rahagra's Pride are proving to be a good force in the late game, and Imric is still alive. If he can fight Archaon with Lord of Dragons up, he can do some good work here, but time is not on his side, because Archaon's going to get more and more Spirit Leeches off the longer this goes on, and the longer this goes on, the sheer weight of Chaos Infantry should wear down the Pyramid Company. Should. So we still have 2 Chaos Warriors here who are quite healthy. Another Spirit Leech. It looks like Archaon knows the score. He just wants to buy time and Spirit Leech down Imric. And Archaon is faster, though Imric's getting a weird charge bonus. Lands. And gets a charge attack onto Archaon. Okay, that's some speed being a suggestion if I've ever seen one. Also, I like how the Lord of the Seaguard shattered as soon as Imric landed. I know he didn't actually hit them, but it looks like he hit them and shattered them. That was kind of funny. Charge attack from Imric misses Archaon, mostly due to good dodging from Wags rather than like, wow, Imric missed it, oh my god. And now he's trying to get away. Armor of Morcar is popped for Archaon, giving him 78 melee defense. Not that it seems to matter, actually 84 melee defense. He's just keeping Imric on the ground. Poor Imric. He's trying to take off, but it's proving difficult. Archaon gets another shot onto him, routs Imric, and a follow-up Spirit Leech should kill him. With army losses hitting, Wags will take game 1 of the day. That was a good first game to start on, huh? Emmerich got 3,000 values. He was no slouch. Sisters of Avalorn really struggled to find their place. The War Lions ROR ended up doing pretty good. Pyramid and Company and the other White Lions did okay. Life Mage did okay. Loudon Seaguard did fine, and Spears did fine. No side. Archaon, fantastic value, 4,300 for him. Chaos Knights tried to get their value back, but mostly were just disruption pieces, and Chaos Warriors provided the anvil with which Archaon could hammer against, so they did quite nicely. GG. GG. I still think the Life Mage dying, however that happened, whether it was Spirit Leech, whether it was Archaon, or whether it was Halberds, however she died was the game-turning moment. Yeah. I'd have to have been watching specifically her to learn if it was a mistake on the High Elf side or a good play on the Warriors of Chaos side. Okay. I don't see any obvious lobbies. So I messaged Brutus to see if we could have a spectator slot, which would follow Bwags into Brutus, but with the early part of the tournament, I'm just going to take whatever games I can get. While the lower bracket gets populated, then we'll jump down there. For now, we'll just go with convenience. Ancestor gods, I hate elves. My grandfather hated them too, even before they put out his eyes. God damn! That's brutal. I've been reading The War of Vengeance omnibus, about 75% of the way through that. It's so funny. It's hilarious. Like, it's a decent story. It's fine. There's the usual Warhammer issues. Like, there's no, I could make the same complaint about almost every Warhammer book where there's always enough of blank to fit the plot. But with elves and dwarves especially, there's two things. There's writing problems that always occur between the elves and dwarves. And there's race flaws that are designed. Like, that one's not a writing mistake. But between them both, it's funny how many parallels there are. Because a frequent writing mistake with elves and dwarves in the Warhammer books is time. Because they live forever and whatnot, not literally forever, but they live a very long time, writers can get super fucking lazy about timelines, where it's like, yes, the War of the Beard is taking a very long time. Anyway, it was this year, let's say year 1, right? Year 1! Billy Bob sieged this place, and it didn't work, so he began to walk home. And meanwhile, Chauncey was inventing a boat. Alright, it is now year 10. I'm gonna focus on Chauncey. Chauncey finished his boat. It was very fancy. It took him many iterations, many tries. All this stuff, magic, elves. He had a wife and kids in his time. So anyway, Billy Bob just arrived home, and I'm like, that was a 50-mile walk that took him 10 years. I don't think you were fully paying attention to what each character was doing as you were skipping time around. Because it does not take 10 years to walk 50 miles. It takes a bit. It takes a while. Not 10 years. It doesn't. It does not take 10 years. No webcam, thank you. You're one uncanny motherfucker. I did that on purpose, definitely, and not because I didn't have time to set it up. So, yeah, that's a funny writing trope that happens on both sides of the elves and dwarves in whatever book they're in. But now that there's a book with both of them, it's happening all the time, and I find it really funny. Um, but then the racial flaws that's like design based, not actually bad writing, that is funny is both of these races are super proud. And there's so many disasters that could be avoided if these races just took a second and were like, wait, is this a trap? Because it's like the dwarves roll up to this city at the very start of the war. They're like, we're gonna fuck up this city. And the main high elf character comes out. He's like, bro, we have 6 dragons. You've never fought dragons before. Your ancestors did. And your ancestors kind of fibbed on the stories. And the dwarves are like, what? Giant flying lizards from the sky, size of several houses put together, breathe fire, giant claws. I got a hammer. And then the dragons show up and kill like 10,000 dwarves in about 5 minutes. And the dwarves are like, fuck, and run away. And then they're sitting at their campfire, they're like, oh, those sneaky bastard elves. They told us about their dragons so that we'd walk into the dragons and die. I'm like, no, they tried to warn you, you dumb piece of shit. What's wrong with you? And then on the other side, the elves are like, hey, we've kind of shit-canned the dwarves with dragons like 3 major fights in a row. You think they're gonna get ready for it? Nah. What's that ballista-looking thing? Is that a ballista that looks dangerously close to our Eagle Claw bolt throwers? That we know how much damage they can do? We know exactly what a bolt thrower is? I'm gonna fly my dragon at it. Ah, fuck, you shot me dragon down. What? They shot me dragon down? And then they get around a campfire like those sneaky fucking dwarves. After getting shit rolled by dragons 3 giant battles in a row. They thought to counter our dragons, those dishonorable fucks. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? Why don't any of you have any modicum of common sense? Jesus Christ, it's so funny. But it tracks too. Like, it tracks. And that's why I got tired of reading about dwarves for a while. I started the Elven books, and that's why I'm reading the War of Vengeance now, is because it's just it's chronological in the Elven timeline of what I'm reading. Because I read the Sundering, and then it goes into the War of Vengeance, and then I think I have Masters of Stone and Steel next. So I think I go from elves to elves and dwarves back to just dwarves, which is great. I said sarcastically, I'm gonna be so fucking excited to read more dwarves after Gotrek and Felix omnibuses that also touched a lot on dwarves. There's so much dwarf lore, man, and it's all kinda similar. It's not bad, but it is kinda similar. I'll make up a generic story about the dwarves and see how many... You could put a named character in for Steve, and I bet there's 3 books that you could wonder which one I'm talking about. So Steve needs some help from the dwarves. He goes to the dwarves and says, hey, dwarves, I need help. And they say, of course you need help, Steve, because you're blank race. And blank race is really bad at everything, and the dwarves are better. Well, Steve, let me tell you this, Steve. Even though you pointed out exactly how this problem affects us, Steve, we're not going to do anything because we're invincible inside of our mountains. So then Steve goes off and he tries to solve the problem on his own, and then he doesn't. And then X problem comes around and fucks up the dwarves. And the dwarves go back to Steve and they go, hey, Steve, I filed a grudge against you because you didn't warn me that I was wrong about X, Steve. So when I threw you out on your ass, Steve, you're a piece of shit. You should have somehow, shackled me and forced me to deal with this problem, Steve. So therefore, it's your fault. But also, we're here to help you because we're so great. What story am I talking about? Is it Gotrek and Felix and then the dwarves of that shitty little town outside of the greenskin cave where there was that, weird alien that they never really defined what it was, but it was wearing a greenskin like a skin? And the dwarves didn't want to believe that the greenskins were smart, so they kept getting caught in ambush after ambush after ambush because they were smart greenskins, but they just constantly said, nah, greenskins aren't smart, that's impossible. You should make lore vids in that style, human boy. I do make lore vids, but I guess the Malekith rant is the only one I've done that's like less than an hour long and more silly. Bye, Edwin. Have a good life. Meanwhile, we're dealing with Wood Elves vampire counts. I could see a Lethanar take a 10-year walk. Can you tell the players to hurry up a bit? No. Alright, talking about the Karakiran dwarves. Or honestly, you could even take that Steve thing and you could just do that story I literally just told you about with the dragons, where Steve is Imladric, and Imladric goes outside the walls. He's like, hey, dwarves, I have 6 dragons. Don't come in here. And they're like, nah, dragons aren't real. And then they get completely fucked. And they're like, this is Imladric's fault. Is it his fault? Is it his fault he told you exactly what was going to happen if you attacked his city and you did anyway? Favorite book so far in Warhammer Fantasy? The Thankful and Bone Ripper Omnibus. That or the Carrick 8 Peaks Omnibus. The Carrick 8 Peaks Omnibus, if you want 3 actually great stories that are like well written and good plots. The Thankful and Bone Ripper Omnibus, because I'm a Skaven fanboy and I found them extremely hilarious. So there's a lot of bias. My critical thinking would say that the Carrick 8 Peaks Omnibus is better, but enjoyment-wise, I enjoyed Thankful and Bone Ripper more. All right. That I've read so far. I haven't read everything. But we got a game. For the Wood Elves and Boags, 2 Deepwood Scouts, 5 Dryads, 2 Wild Riders, a 3rd Wild Riders, the Wild Hunters of the Kronos, Regiment of Renown, the Enigmas of Gairan Zotes with their bound regrowth and flesh to stone, Spellsinger Life on the ground with just regrowth, and then Durthu in the far flank with Sword of Daith and Flock of Doom. For Brutus and the Vampire Counts, we have 2 Fellbats, a front line of zombies and skeleton spearmen, the Sternsman Graveguard, a Strigoi Vampire Lord with Spirit Leech. Interesting. Then a Necromancer with both of his zombie summons, the bound one and the actual one with Invocation of Nehek. And I saw some cavalry, but they've been getting moved around. It looks like we have 2 Blood Knights and 2 dogs, one of which is the Dire Pack Regiment of Renown dogs. And Brutus currently has his front line in the classic VM formation, where you have your zombies in a single file line so that they take longer to kill. I wonder if he's just been watching a lot of streams, or if he hangs out with those lads, or if he came to it of his own volition. Don't know. This feels like a very old school Warhammer 2 way of playing the Vampire Counts, though. The Strigoi Vampire Lord used to be pretty good. He's not nearly as favored now with the Blood Dragon Lord, but he used to be pretty good. I like the Necromancer tech with the summons, because I don't know if the Strigoi even has summons. I think he has a Crypt Ghoul summon. Yeah, actually, he brought that. Wow. That's a lot of summons. It's a lot of Winds of Magic. Bold. Alright, Durthu is no longer vanguarding. He said fuck that shit. He came back on. Durthu is actually really strong against Vampire Counts. Vampire Counts struggle to kill large single entities since Vargulfs aren't doing nearly as good in Game 3 as they were in Game 2. So, Durthu, with a little bit of supportive healing from, you know, Wood Elves Lifecasters, he'll be fine. And he does have double blob punishment with the Sword of Daith and Flocks of Doom. So he's a good, like, single entity combatant, but then he also is a blob punishment, which is both just really good against the Vampire Counts. Wild Riders get a huge charge onto the Dire Pack. Just the sheer difference in their size makes the charge really difficult for any dog unit to take. And though the Dire Pack are going to trade back pretty effectively against the Wild Riders, the charge damage was just so much for them. Then the Blood Knights charge in, and they'll get a good trade, but the Wild Hunters of Kurnos charge them, charging those, charging these. So, big cavalry engagement. Overall, I think it'll go to the Wood Elves, though the Blood Knights are making mincemeat out of that Wild Rider. Meanwhile, in the distance, more Wild Riders take another charge on the Direwolves, really taking out the Vampire Count's mobility nice and quickly, while the Enigmas of Gairan, beat up some Zoats, and Deepwood Scouts offer a bit of supporting fire. Now, on this side, the Deepwood Scouts are having a lot less fun, as they get chased down by Fellbats and a Crypt Ghoul summon. And yeah, the Dire Pack are going to die, but the Blood Knights will get away with half HP, and they should be able to dip back to their Necromancer and get some invocations and heck and stuff. And actually, if they just stay and fight, the Wild Hunters of Kurnos are now getting attacked by Skeleton Spearmen, so this fight, though I think the Wood Elves played it well, I think the Vampire Counts just had better tools there, so they do win out by just like, I mean, Blood Knights are just better than Wild Riders. They're more expensive, and they also have better stats. So you'd kind of hope they'd win. Meanwhile, Spirit Leech onto Durthu, and the Strigoi Lord is here, diving in. I think he's going to pop his claws in Morcane in a second. But Sword of Daith going to punish the whole blob, lower the armor of the Strigoi Lord, making him a little more susceptible to Dryads, and a big Flock of Doom here as well. And the Dryads really crushed the zombie front line, much quicker than I anticipated. You'd think they'd win, but I didn't think they'd win by that much. In the distance, the Wild Hunters of Kurnos are pushed off, which is a pretty bad time for the Wood Elves, but the Dire Pack will die with them. I don't think those guys will rally. And in the distance, Zoat's taking a lot of damage against the Blood Knights, though they're dishing it back as well, but the Skeleton Spearmen are a bit of a problem. Wild Riders are going to peel off to try and help the Deepwood Scouts, which leaves the Zoats all on their own. Durthu's still fighting away, and so far the Strigoi Lord seems fine. Now it's hard to tell if he's taken any damage and just healed it off, or if he hasn't been hit at all, but another Flock of Doom is going to hit this area. And with the Dryads rejoining the fight, I think the infantry should get pushed out of here pretty quickly. Balance power is in favor of the Vampire Counts. I think it's a little too early to tell, but we will see, as the Zoats in the distance are maybe going to rout. There we go, that should rout them. As a Fleshed Stone gives them more physical resistance. They've been hanging on at one leadership for quite a while. Kind of surprised their damage hasn't ticked over yet. But the Wild Riders are going to kill off Fellbats, freeing up these Deepwood Scouts to fire over here. And even if the Deepwood Scouts can't save the Zoats, they can probably finish off the Blood Knights and make the Zoats sacrifice worth it. Now over here, our Regrowth is hitting Durthu, and that is a great target for it, as he's trying to slap the Necromancer. I like that. Getting rid of the Corpse Guard is undervalued in a lot of cases, so if you get rid of that, you get rid of some passive healing, get rid of the zombie summons of your opponent, and get rid of their Invocation of a Heck, actually, because the Strigoi Lord didn't take it, and you get rid of their stat buff. So yeah, I actually really like targeting the Necromancer here. Spellsinger of Life is Terror routed, but she's not naturally routed. She'll come back pretty easily. And there goes the Necromancer. And that's actually a big turning point in this game for the favor of the Wood Elves. Despite what the balance of power thinks, I actually think this is an extremely even, maybe Wood Elf favored game at this exact moment. Because now the Vampire Counts are on very borrowed time. They have no voluntary healing for their army. They only have healing that the Strigoi Lord can give himself. And then they have the Sternsmen healing they can give themselves. And I guess Blood Knights have their hunger if they're in melee combat, but they're so low, man. If the Deepwood Scouts get 2 volleys onto them, they're dead. Oh, there's the other Blood Knight. Kind of forgot they existed, to be honest. Nice breath attack directly overhead on Durthu. But another Flock of Doom, really trying to kill off these Sternsmen. Sword of Daith is down as well, overlapping their fire, giving the Sternsmen only 60 armor as Durthu is going to duel with the Strigoi Lord and get some decent shots out. Now in the distance, Wild Riders finishing off the Skeleton Spears, trying to finish off the Blood Knights, and Deepwood Scouts are going to try and fend for themselves while the Wild Riders do their business, but those Blood Knights aren't even crumbling yet, so they are going to heal slowly, and the Wild Riders will break before they die, so those Deepwood Scouts are probably in deep trouble. Probably being a very key word in that. Meanwhile, Spellsinger of Life has taken a lot of damage from something. I imagine it's probably the Sternsmen, and more Dryads are coming over to try and offer support. Zombies fading away, and that is the last zombie summon that will be out this game. This guy still technically has a Crypt Ghoul summon. We'll see if he even uses it. Now, what sucks here for the Spellsinger of Life is she probably wants to regrowth Durthu again, but she's so low she might rout at any moment. And Durthu's been spamming out Flocks of Doom, which, while it's good to clear out the chaff, I'm not saying it's a mistake, it is hard for her to get any regrowths off. Balance of Power shifts into like army losses territory as the Strigor Lord has done a really good number under Durthu. Another nice breath attack for that. Despite all the crumbling in the distance and how useless the Blood Knights will be as this game goes on, that Strigoi Vampire Lord's health value is just so much on the Balance of Power that it's really tipping it away. This lady needs to get a regrowth onto Durthu just for Balance of Power. Because Balance of Power is the biggest problem for the Wood Elves right now. Yeah, that's going to be GG, though I think that game wasn't over yet. What changed from Vargulfs from 2 to 3? Everybody got a lot more health with Ultra unit size. And healing got a lot more impactful, which affects the Vargulfs, but their DPS matters less because most single entities are going to have a lot of healing supporting them. So you have more health to get through, and then you have more health to get through, which the Vargulfs just didn't appreciate. Samaric, I liked that one. The Necromancer. Strigoi Vampire Lord did alright. He got decent value. Zombies got mostly crumped by the Dryads. But the Sternsmen did great. Some Skeleton Spears did great. Dogs did alright. Blood Knights did fantastically. And Bats actually paying for themselves, which is not something Bats frequently do. Durthu did well. The Zotes did okay, but I think those are almost 2,000 gold, so they didn't pay for themselves ultimately. Wild Riders really struggling to pay for themselves. Only one came close. Deepwood Scouts did okay, and Dryads did well. But unfortunately, the Wild Riders really just let the Wood Elves down. Any news on the new patch by chance? No. 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 All right, let's check in on this bracket, eh? Mr. Chalk and ICG meeting up in the lower bracket. Qualiduck waiting for the winner of that. Pigman 202 to best versus Bwags. And Brutus and Stormrunner on the top. Calamity and Salinator also up there. I gotta find a game. I gotta find a game. Be nice to hop down to Calamity and Salinator. I will have a game soon. we'll hop into this game. So we'll get to see Stormrunner and Brutus. You just watched 5 episodes of House of the Dragon? It's interesting. I still technically haven't watched Game of Thrones' actual ending. I heard about it. Hey, Lucinia. Hey, Wolfblade. Just dropped in. What's going on? A hybrid newbie and more veteran tournament. Are there any e-girls in your Discord that are in dire need of a supreme gentleman? I don't know. I don't ask for genders. I ask for faction mains. That's all I care about. But if 100% of dwarf mains are girls, then yeah, my Discord's loaded with them. Girls everywhere. Girls as far as the eye can see. No, actually, like, of the faction mains in my Discord, it's probably a pretty close bet between High Elves and Dark Elves, which is the most mained faction in my Discord. There are so many elf players in the multiplayer community, it's insane. Wood Elves is in the conversation for like bottom 3 or 4 factions, depending on how you rank Khorne, Wood Elves, Slaanesh, and Demons of Chaos. But Wood Elves are probably halfway up the pole as far as mains go. There's not a ton of them. Like, they're not nearly as much as High Elves and Dark Elves, but it's a little disproportionate considering their power level. Elves are just popular. They're super popular. They always will be. High Elves were one of those factions that back when they were bad, you still had a ton of mains. And then when they were good, their mains increased slightly. Dark Elves is actually insane, though. Dark Elves is crazy. Back in the time of Ice Power was the only player I saw playing Dark Elves on Turin streams back when I started multiplayer. He did Morathi double Manticore every fucking game. That was all he did. He was the only Dark Elf player. And then some more kind of creeped into the community. And then Dark Elves got good with that buff after Mortal Empires to healing and dragons and whatever. And then all of a sudden, fucking everybody in my Discord is a Dark Elf main. It's insane. It's insane how many Dark Elf mains are in my Discord. And it's upsetting. Because some of them are balanced, reasonable people with reasonable thoughts. And some of them, not going to name names, not going to do that. That would be mean, but Fat Kid at Recess. Some of them, Fat Kid, are just completely insane. Where they're like, Malice Darkblade isn't OP. I fought the ROR Shredder of Lustru with him, and I barely killed it. He's not OP. Malice Darkblade isn't OP. I ran into 3 units of Phoenix Guard, and I killed all of them, and I almost had to transform. He's not OP. Or they'll be like, Soul Stealer's not fucking broken. My Malekith only got 6,000 value, and I almost lost a game one time. That shit's not broken. What are you talking? If anything, Soul Stealer needs buffs. Dark Elf mains are the most unhinged people on the entire planet. Dark Elf mains have no idea what's going on. Dark Elf mains have no capacity to understand the video game from any other faction's perspective. They're all assholes, and I hope they leave my server. That's my based. That's my based take. So many Wood Elf players, Blags? There's not so many, but I think there's more Wood Elf mains than there are Slaanesh mains. The main problem is a lot of the Wood Elf mains are just sitting around waiting for a new patch, but like there were a lot of Wood Elf mains. Its Current Year used to play a lot of Wood Elves. Ronan played a lot of Wood Elves, and he's been on the Discord. He just hasn't been playing, but he's been talking. But he's a Wood Elf main. Zyphos is a Wood Elf main. Coops played a lot of Wood Elves back in the day. I don't think they're his main, but he played a lot of them. Yeah. Bwags, right now, you're the only player currently playing that's a Wood Elf main, but there are a lot of them around my Discord. Yeah, Bwags is the Giga Chad who actually still plays the Wood Elves when they're bad. All the other Wood Elf mains, he said, still making friends, just making so many friends today. All the other Wood Elf mains are little babies, and as soon as their faction is an S tier, they abandon the game and only check back in every patch to see if their faction is S plus tier again like it was in Warhammer 2. Then they'll maybe consider playing. Real heroes like Bwags play them when they're bad, play them when they're good. Making 0 friends today. Fuck them. High Elf players are delusional. Dark Elf players are spoiled and delusional. Wood Elf players are cowards. Dwarf mains are girls. just throwing it out. What's dark magic? That's what dark magic addiction looks like. It's true. What are the rat mains then? Well, if I am the typical Skaven main, then Skaven mains are quick to anger, very loud when their ranged units don't fire, passive aggressive, and eccentric. Eccentric when they want to say unhinged and stupid, but they want to be flattering, so eccentric. Those are Skaven mains. Skaven mains are delusional optimists that think their faction is fine if Poison Globes get nerfed, and they'll all be okay as long as healing is nerfed. And then healing's going to get nerfed, and those same faction apologists, faction optimists like myself are going to be like, now if mass gets nerfed, cavalry gets nerfed, dogs get nerfed, spells get nerfed, if everything else besides Skaven stuff gets nerfed, then Skaven will be set. Then we'll be good. What about Beastman players? Beastman players are generally pretty chad. Honestly, honest take, Beastman players, in my experience, are the most chill ones I've run into. Now, you're going to get some outliers, obviously. Like, you're going to be like, I met this one guy and he was a dick. But I mean, like, I don't know. Most of the Beastman players I know are not at all focused on winning. A lot of them are just like, what's up, bro? Want to see some Beastmen? They just throw some cows at you and hope for a good time. I don't know. Because Papa Palpatine, Razel, Deadly Bunnies are 3 Beastman mains I know, and all 3 of them are just, like, super fucking chill. I've enjoyed them a lot. Strat plays a lot of Beastman, Strat game, but I wouldn't call him a Beastman main. Strat game's a winning main. He mains victory. That's a great song, Lucy. That's a great song. Lights is actually really good. For greenskin players, just take an average England soccer fan and that's it. That's them. They're probably playing shirtless. They're probably swearing at their monitor constantly, even as they're typing GG. They're constantly arguing with me that a Wurzag isn't the best Lord, and then they have a 0% win rate on any Lord that isn't Wurzag. Fuckers. Anyway, we got a game. 4 Chaos Furies of Khorne, Skarbrand, the Exiled, triple Spawn of Khorne, and triple Exalted Bloodletters of Khorne, one of which is the Hellforged Host. Now, aside for the Vampire counts, we have double Vargulf, Manfred on Footfrid, with Spirit Leech, Invocation of Nahek, and Raise Dead. We also have a Corpse card of Balefire that gives magic damage to the whole army. Also fire damage, but Khorne doesn't really care about that. The Dire Pack, Triple Crypt Horrors, a Mortis Engine, and Zombies. I think Khorne might be able to do this. Might. If Skarbrand can focus all of his efforts on the Mortis Engine, ignore everything else, he actually could do this. I mean, he doesn't want to go balls deep ahead of his infantry, but he does want to keep that Mortis Engine under pressure because it's going to drain all of his guys. But look how quickly the Bloodletters are dealing with these zombies. And remember, every kill you get charges Khorne's army passive. So we're going to get, like, Horns of Khorne, we're going to get Swords of Khorne, things like that. And a Sword of Khorne on the Sternsman can actually do a lot of damage. Corpse Cart is taking some damage, and it forces the Mortis Engine to walk away from Skarbrand. And as long as the Mortis Engine isn't in combat, it's not draining down Hellforged Host. But now it gets around the fight, and this is actually a great opportunity for Skarbrand because he's currently in a million v1 fight, and he doesn't want that at all. He could back off, get closer to the Mortis Engine and fight that while the Vargulfs try and path to him or something, because he has to take it out. The Mortis Engine is 100% the key to success for the Vampire Counts this game. Corpse Cart with Balefire is slowly dying off, and Skarbrand did get to safety. But this is a lot of Chaos Furies all grouping up in the same area, not really dispersing their damage at all. So now they're all getting drained, and they're all crumbling at the same time, which is pretty bad. Skarbrand's having a tough time really making any impact on the game. Now, the damage values are very equal, and he does snipe out the Corpse Cart of Balefire, which is great. We take those. Something has to be done about this Mortis Engine. Skarbrand instead charges over to elsewhere where he might have some support to stay away from those Vargulfs. But already the balance of power is in army losses territory for Khorne, which is kind of embarrassing. They're killing some zombies. They're doing their thing. There's a lot more zombies to kill, my friends. I wonder if we can get a Sword of Khorne like right here. Fuck up the Sternsman, finish off those zombies. Something like that. Another Spirit Leech for Skarbrand as the Hellforged Host is about to fade away. There's a Sword of Khorne right where we had hoped it would be. Boom! Go the Sternsmen. A lot of damage onto them. But the Mortis Engine is coming for the last real section of power for the Vampire Counts. And if we can get rid of these Bloodletters and Spawn and all that stuff, then Skarbrand will be left alone and he will be picked off. And that's looking like probably GG. Mortis Engine still just draining down everything and everybody. And though a lot of things are dying on the Vampire Count side, the balance of power just hates Khorne way too much. And Skarbrand is not good. Not good at all. I didn't hate the Khorne build overall. Like, obviously Stormrunner's just having a bit of fun. He is a memer at heart. But I think if you go Valkia, then that same build, and then I guess with your extra money, maybe some more infantry or something, they could have done well. Skarbrand's just way too much of a meme. He sucks and blows. The Furies also were an interesting choice into Vampire Counts. I guess they were there in case of like Vargeists or Flyers because they can trade decently okay into that, but their notoriously shit leadership makes them only good at disrupting archers or cannons, which you know VC don't have, so I think that was a bit weird. Yeah. Vargulf's 800 and 700 damage value. The Crypt Horrors did a lot. I imagine they're the ones that were poking Skarbrand down. Would you say it was a corny build? Alright. I will look for the next opponent. Calamity beat Salinator. That's actually insane. Holy shit. How'd that happen? Huh. Alright, go Calamity, go. Wow, that's not what I fucking expected to see today. I cast some of Calamity's games before, I'm just not remembering them. But are they just crazy? Alright, there. Now you can look at the bracket and I can message people offhand. That's kind of insane. Alright, I'm looking around for what game we can spectate. If I can't find anybody, we'll go to Brutus and Calamity, because we know that one hasn't started yet, but checking to see if Qualiduck and Mr. Chalk are around. Or Pigman and Bwags has been going for a bit. So that one might wrap up soon. Ladies and gentlemen, you might get another Vampire Counts game. You're probably going to get a lot of Vampire Counts games, honestly. Because Salinator is also a Vampire Counts main. But it looks like this is the only game that's ready right now. So watch Brutus and Calamity. And then we'll hop down. I asked Salinator to wait for us when he gets an opponent. So watch Brutus and Calamity. Go down to Salinator versus Blank. And then from there, we'll see what's available. Can Brutus just play Vampire Counts all day long, or will Calamity slap the banhammer on him? Look, mid-tier VC won again. Is Locus of Fury better than Locus of Wrath? What is Locus of Fury? That might answer your question, as I don't even know what Locus of Fury is. Is it Slaanesh? No. Locus of Wrath. What the fuck is Locus of Fury? I don't know. Can the Lady of the Lake turn the VC so they are out? Maybe. I mean, we saw the Herald of Corn ability. The Herald of Corn ability is Locus of Wrath. I don't know what Locus of Fury even is. Yeah, Locus of Wrath. He has Fury, Wrath, and Abjugation? What the fuck? I see Abjuration, I don't see Wrath. Are you talking about Rage Embodied, the AoE Rampage? Because the Herald just has Locus of Wrath. Corn doesn't have access to the hammer guy? No, only Warriors of Chaos do. Anyway, VC lost pretty badly on our last stream, the night stream, McRightface. They had a bad time. How about Blood Reaper? He has the Locust of Abjuration. And if you're referring to that for fun event where one team was mostly Vampire Counts and they won, the players playing against them were memeing a little too close to the sun. Some of those builds were Very silly. Is the Herald any good in multiplayer? I haven't tried him yet. He is the second best Lord behind Valkia, but Valkia is just the best that Khorne has. She's cheaper, she's tankier, and she does more damage, and she has more utility. The Herald of Khorne is the only one that has more utility than Valkia, and he is way worse on every other front, unfortunately. When is my 24-hour stream? You mean the 10-hour stream? I was going to stream it as soon as patch 4.1 drops, so I was just going to grind the shit out of that and see what all the new changes are and stuff, but it keeps getting delayed! Slaanesh, Tzeentch, and Nurgle has 3 Loci abilities, but Khorne has 2? Tzeentch has 3? Slaanesh has 3? What are their 3? Locus of Grace. What are Slaanesh's 3? I see Locus of Swiftness and Locus of Grace. I don't see the third. What you talking about? This will be done so quick. Slaanesh vs. Vampire Counts is a brutal one. So then the Herald of Nurgle has Locus of Fecundity. The Cultist doesn't have a Locus. The Plague-Ridden has a Locus of Virulence. Not seeing any other Locus abilities on Nurgle either. I think everyone has 2. Their Herald and then their Hero does. Okay. Can a very small Slaanesh build kill the Vampire Counts? What's bullshit? What's happening? Great Book of Grudges, what's happening? I can't find any faction that does have 3 Locus abilities. What are you talking about? Does Tzeentch have 3? Does Tzeentch have 3 and that's where this is all coming from? Because I think, like, maybe you're thinking of the tier 2 army ability from Nurgle that's just Fecundity. It's not a Locus, but they also have a Locus of Fecundity, so I'm a little confused there. Alright, Tzeentch. Herald. Locus of Conjuration. He doesn't have any. Big boys don't have any. But if you go to their heroes, Gate of Tzeentch. In the Iridescent Hoarder, Locus of Change, yeah. Oh, that's a cool looking Chaos Sorcerer of Tzeentch. Oh, there's... Oh, campaign? Oh. I don't know if I ever got a Herald leveled up in campaign, ever. I played Scarbrand's campaign, and I pretty much just made Scarbrand's single army as fucking buff as possible. I didn't even know about these mythical third loci. That's kind of badass. I wish you could, like... Well, I suppose you can select the ones that are there, but I don't know why they wouldn't put all 3 in multiplayer. That's weird. Locus of Steel, Locus of Faith, Locus of Gunpowder. Gunpowder would just be 100% armor-piercing damage for everybody around you. Anyway, For the builds, very small Slaanesh build, Marquis of Masochism, Keeper of Secret Regiment of Renown, with Bound, Phantasmagoria, and Enfeebling Foe. Then we have an Exalted Keeper of Secrets of Slaanesh with Slicing Shards, Acquiescence as her 2 spells. We have the Mirror Guard, a Chaos Warrior of Slaanesh, 2 Chosen of Slaanesh with Hell Scourges, and 2 Spawn of Slaanesh. Very small build. I struggle to see it doing well. I am frightened. On the other side, 5 zombies, the Sternsmen, 2 Skeleton Spearmen, 3 Crypt Horrors, the Dire Pack, Double Vargulf, Manfred on horseback, Mortis Engine, and the Balefire Corpse Guard. We literally just saw this build, so it looks like it's his anti-demon build, regardless of who the demon may be. Vargulfs. I'm kind of okay with seeing Vargulfs again, though. I haven't seen Vargulfs in a long time. Hello, my big bat friends, with your 290 armor-piercing damage. While the Keeper of Secrets on the other side have nearly, like, 60% more damage. That's a small Slaanesh? Yeah, 1,400 dudes versus roughly 400 dudes is not a lot. I like how the Mortis Engine has an idle animation of these knights just perpetually running in the sky, even if they're not pulling the Mortis Engine anywhere. There you go, Samaric. There you go. Slaanesh lumbering forward. Their Chaos Spawn are not a thing of beauty. Unfortunately, they're just as gross and weird as every other Chaos Spawn. And I'm quite curious how the Slaanesh characters are going to pilot this. Because they don't want to get isolated versus the Crypt Horrors. But they also can't afford to just let the Mortis Engine go burr all over their Chosen. If this Keeper of Secrets can get to the Vargulfs or the Mortis Engine, they can actually fuck them up pretty bad. They have really good weapon strength, really good melee stats, things like that. But if they get isolated by the Crypt Horrors, they'll die super fast, so it's kind of a double-edged sword. Keeper of Secrets is in. Already hitting onto the Mortis Engine, as I'm sure no one is surprised. I think that's going to be a Phantasmagoria. It is the bound one. So minus leadership for everybody, but also just nets them in place so they can't pull the Vargulfs into position to really punish the Keeper of Secrets and that kind of stuff. Doesn't look like it's going to matter. Oh, that's why there was a Phantasmagoria. Okay, I missed that. Followed up by a Slicing Shards. Kills a lot of the infantry nearby. And now the Keeper of Secrets going to charge back in. I think she has Ballet of Blows popped. Yes, she does. So there's more melee attack, more weapon damage, and it's going to rank up in a second here. It's only in stage 1. So she's going to want to take the fight for a little bit and then back off. But she's now stuck between both Vargulfs. But look at that damage onto the big one. And I really like the patience here from Calamity, that the Mirror Guard aren't just blindly walking into melee combat 2 to get drained down by the Mortis Engine like the other Chaos Warriors. They're at least waiting for something to rout or for there to be a reason for them to go in. Ballet of Blows is in its 3rd stage, so the most weapon strength, the most melee attack you're going to get. And it looks like the Keeper of Secrets want to get something done, but they're just not going to be able to yet. And she is going to back off, getting Spirit Leeched all the while. Mortis Engine managed to get away. It's now fighting with Chaos Spawn and Chosen with whips. And I think the Keeper of Secrets are going to want to get over there and continue to punish that thing. As this Marquis of Masochism is actually doing pretty good work. One of the Vargulfs is crumbling at this moment, and the Dire Pack have to get an invocation to heck from Manfred to even stay alive. And this lady does have healing. She has healing and a Mortis Engine effect with the enemy leadership is low, which with the undead happens a lot. So she can do okay. Diving over towards Manfred now, currently making their way through zombies. The Chaos Warrior with the Hell Scourges is already off the map, but the Chosen are largely chilling. They don't even seem to care about the Mortis Engine in their presence. Things are going quite well here for Slaanesh. Another big the Slicing Shards. Another big Slicing Shards is happening. I saw something overcast for some reason. I wonder if it was the Slicing Shards finally casting. But there we go. Huge damage onto those zombies. Now, it is just zombies, but still, I mean, damage is damage. You take those. Really good cycle charging in here from the two Keeper of Secrets, but now they might be in a bit too much trouble. Surrounded in a lot of mass, not really able to get out. Half health already for her. She's trying to heal up a little bit from the crumbling people around her. But they got to try and find a way to get back to their Chosen. Get a little bit of support. Because that is an unholy amount of mass here. That's a lot of Crypt Horrors, Vargulfs, all this shit. And the Keeper of Secrets is still having a really tough time trying to get out of here. The Mirror Guard just joined in now. And the Mirror Guard provide that little buff of theirs. I forget what it does. Plus 10 melee defense. That'll help her a lot. Actually, 70 melee defense is kind of nuts. Takes another Spirit Leech as she still tries to path out of here, taking too much damage. Demonic Instability Crumbling is coming in. And can she rally at all, or will this just be the end of the Exalted Keeper of Secrets, who does throw out one last spell on her way out the door? Yep, Demonic Instability will take her out, unfortunately. Another Slicing Shards tries to finish off the Stearns men. Doing decent damage. Damage value is very, very equal between these two, but the vampire counts have a lot more healing, and they still have a Lord. So, you know, that helps. Marquis of Masochism, over half HP, and is going to start Demonic Instability Crumbling any second. Demonic Leadership is a hell of a drug. And Slaanesh did a lot better than I would have suspected with this build. They almost took out both Crypt Horrors. They almost took out a Vargulf at one point. But it won't be enough. Marquis is going to fade away. And then you just have some Chosen, some Chaos Warriors, all getting drained down by the Mortis Engine. Should the Keeper of Secrets whack the SEM pretty quick? Yeah, they probably should have focused down on SEM. I know they're going after the Mortis Engines, and that seems fine, but like they couldn't isolate anything, and then they got stuck in a blob fight, which is exactly what happened to Starbrand, where it's like, you can do okay if you can keep 1v1ing or 2v2ing or even 2v1ing some stuff, but as soon as you get stuck in with the Mortis Engine, Manfred, both Vargulfs, and all those Crypt Horrors surrounding you, you just get absolutely eviscerated. Was doing well till the Keepers got caught. True. Salinator and Pigman are waiting for us, so we'll breeze quickly through the values and get on to that game. Manfred, 2,000 value. Crypt Horrors struggled a bit to pay for themselves, all things considered. Zombies okay. Vargulfs did well this time, and the Mortis Engine did fantastically well. 2,800 value for that. Keeper of Secrets actually struggled a bit, though the the Chosen, did well. But the basic Marquis didn't actually do that great. GG's, it was an honorable attempt. And that's up. I'll take you over there. There's the bracket for you, if you care, while we load up into this game. We are hopping down to the bottom bracket. Stormrunner and Mr. Chalk fighting. Salinator and Pigman also fighting. And the winner of both these will fight in Prague, and then the winner of that will fight Calamity, and whoever wins there will go fight Brutus. No. Wrong screen, so y'all just got a bit of a spoiler, but oh well, we're here. In the game, Salinator not playing his vampire counts. I don't know if it was banned or if he's just playing something a bit different, but we got a little bit of Brettonia action versus Tzeentch. Some much more top of the table S-tier matchup, but not S-tier Lord picks. The Fanchantress is fine, but she's not Lewin, she's not Alberic, who are both better in my opinion. And the Exalted Lord of Change of Metal is, again, fine, but not Kairos level. So, interesting we're seeing the top-tier factions without the top-tier lords. Again, these lords aren't, like, terrible. They're not throwing the game. They're not even memeing, but there are better ones, in my opinion. Oh boy, Tzeentch. Well, before you oh boy too hard, there's no Kairos, so there's no regrowth. There's not even blue fire because he brought metal. And there's not a Meteorith Vortex Beast. And there's not even a Soul Grinder. So, let's all calm down. Let's all calm down a little bit. Sometimes, man. Sometimes people just make me furious. And I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking about you. YouTube chat. I would never disparage you like that. But sometimes people, just generic, not YouTube chat people, make me irate. Because they suck, and they're terrible. But not you. Never you, YouTube chat. Also, if you aren't subscribed, do that. Smooth transition from definitely not calling you all terrible to telling you to subscribe. Anyway. For Tzeentch, we have the Severed Claw, Aspiring Champions Regiment of Renown. Exalted Lord of Change of Metal with his Fury Summons, Searing Doom, and Final Transmutation. Salinator did pop in the chat and say Fey Enchantress is immune to blue fire because of her spell resist and missile resist. And her damage resistance from the Blessing of the Lady, which is fair. I think Lewin is still equally invincible, though, with his missile resist and spell resist shield he can bring. But, fair. Anyway, we have Aecold Hellbrass on the ground with the Thorns Aura. I haven't seen that since he came out. People pretty quickly abandoned it. We'll see if it works out for the Pigman. We have the Sour Guts Pink Horror Regiment of Renown, Marauders of Tzeentch, 2 Screamers, and 2 Chaos Knights. On the other side, for Brettonia, triple Pegasus Knight with anti-large, no magic damage, but anti-large, which is good. We have the Fey Enchantress, Earthblood, and Regrowth for her, plus her Bound Chalice, and then the Favor of the Fae for magic, more melee attack. Spearmen at Arms paired with Peasant Mobs, and then 5 Peasant Bowmen, and triple Knights on the ground, one of which is a Questing Knight, one's a Grail Knight, and one is the Knights of Lionhearted. Knight of the Realm Regiment of Renown. That is a lot of Knights. They got 6 Knights in this build, plus the Fae. Which means their infantry corps is suffering, but I guess Brettonia doesn't really care about that. Their archers, I don't know what their archers are going to shoot at. The Severed Claw would be a decent shot, because you got to kill them eventually, but also archers do so little damage to Severed Claw. I wonder if they all just focus on the Sour Guts and call it a day. I feel like Brettonia has just too much going on. I don't know if Tzeentch can kill all this stuff. Like, they have so much stuff for Tzeentch to kill here. Chaos Knights of Tzeentch going to take a charge from Grail Knights. Oh, that's going to go real badly for our poor Tzeentchian friends. Yeah, they try and turn, maybe avoid it, but it's just not going to work out. They'll get rear charge with Pegasus Knights. That's going to be a dead Chaos Knight entirely. Sour Guts still trying to move up, but they are going to get peppered with archers. That'll kill them off quite quickly. And a Chaos Fury is coming out from the Exalted Lord of Change to harass those archers. Now, in the backfield, Chaos Knights of Tzeentch are beating up the Knights of Lionhearted for now, though they are getting healed. And there is spear support. Pegasus Knights are just chasing down Screamers, doing really good damage to those guys, and actually going to make them fade away. And this is looking so good for Brettonia early. So good. I would like to see a Searing Doom here if one is possible, but if the Winds of Magic aren't there or the cooldown isn't there, then those Chaos Knights are doomed. Sour Guts lost their shield, and they are slowly fading away as a Chaos Fury summon awaits. The Fey Enchantress is currently under Missile Barrage. That is a Final Transmutation. Ooh. I mean, it's still decent, but it's overcasted too. What's it linked to? Is it just on the ground? It's doing good damage, but I wish it was attached to the Grail Knights. Yeah, because the Grail Knights can walk out of it. If it followed them off, that would have been a little bit better. Shit happens. Still got decent damage out. Anyway. Severed Claw plus Aecold push through the front line and are already disrupting the archers. Other Marauders are also chasing down archers, as are the Chaos Fury summons, so the archer line is quickly getting stopped But in the backfield, I don't see Screamers at all anymore, so the Pegasus Knights completed their task, and now other Pegasus Knights are diving onto the Sour Guts, so they might get friendly fired by the Chalice of Potions. I'm very curious if it's going to hit them. Because if it arcs up, they're just going to take so much damage. Oh my god, it went out of its way to fuck them over. Oh. That's brutal. And a Searing Doom really fucks up the Knights on the top side. Wow. Tzeentch truly is the master of spells, as the Fey Enchantress's bound spell goes awry and fucks up her own units, and then an amazing Searing Doom cast just slaughters some questing Knights. Still, Brettonia's doing alright, but that is putting a damper on their lead for sure. Still up about 1,000 damage value. The Sour Guts are about to demonic instability fade away. Oh hey, there's a Screamer. One Screamer survived the slaughter of the early days. Though, it looks like I said that literally as they're about to die, as the Pegasus Knights are back onto them once again. Archers largely getting routed off, but Brettonia, as you were mentioning earlier in the stream, if you were here for that, Brettonia has complete control of the flanks, with only one Chaos Knight even being alive, and it's very close to dead. Brettonia should be able to control when their units rally and come back, allowing them to get reinforcements. Screamers faded away, Sour Guts fading away now, and the balance of power swings in the favor of Brettonia. And another Searing Doom on top of the anvil that is the Chaos Knights, trying to hold the Brettonians in place. Looks like Salinator sees this one coming and starts to dodge, but he still takes a good amount of damage on his Knights. But can the Severed Claw carry without healing? They did not have the favor of the Fae. It's true. It's true, they didn't. For Brettonia, we have a very wounded Knight of the Realm, a very wounded Questing Knight, two quite wounded Pegasus Knights, a full health Pegasus Knight, and a half health Grail Knight trying to carry this game. Their peasants literally don't matter. All their peasants could pile up on the Severed Claw and just get routed off by the Thorns Aura plus the Severed Claw and Aecold. So that doesn't matter. We don't care about that at all. We just care about the Knights if they can carry. Because the Fey Enchantress, honestly, also isn't going to matter. Her drain is not impactful in the Severed Claw. They just don't have enough models. Like, it'll do some, but not a lot. And the longer she's in combat, look how much damage she takes in combat with the Severed Claw and Aecold. Like, it's just not worth it at all for her to be in there draining like that. So it is entirely on the Knights to deal with this. Second Chaos Fury is out. It immediately dies to the Pegasus Knights, and two other Pegasus Knights are trying to chase off that Exalted Keeper of Secrets. But yeah, that's the Fey Enchantress's fate. While getting healed up, she is so damaged from fighting with the Severed Claw, she has to back off. The Grail Knights can do decent damage if they can get solid charges on, but it looks like the mass amount of peasants are just in their way. And Pegasus Knights still trying to chase down the Lord of Change, not doing a lot of damage to him. They're doing that thing that stuff does. Flying on the ground doesn't matter when they're chasing something and they're faster than it. They'll just kind of match its speed and follow it around rather than doing anything useful. Another Chalice of Potions is out. RNGesus be in Brettonia's favor, because if you're not, that's a lot of dead peasants. Did more damage to the peasants, but more damage value versus Severed Claw, probably. Finally, they catch up to the Exalted Lord of Metal and actually get us around on him. Quickly chunk out about 1,500 HP from that guy before he starts moving again. And it looks like the archers are going to start shooting at him as well. As we get a sudden pause due to lag. Tzeentch Lord just ominously glowing. I know there was like little bits and pieces of lag, but the sudden complete stoppage of the game makes me worry. Pigman got dropped as he was casting. Alright, 1 second. Messaging the players. Pigman crashed. Is it a bit too early to call that one decided? Yeah. I'm messaging the players. Okie dokie, okie dokie. Sorry, 1 second and I'll explain things. Alright, so they're going to replay it. Even though before it crashed it was a bit laggy. So I'm going to... It's a bit laggy, so I'm probably going to do a quick battle. But yeah, sorry. So, the players are going to replay. The game was not yet decided. I think it was Brettonia advantage, but I don't think it was decided. So I messaged, I was messaging Pigman and Slaanesh, and I was just like, what's going on? And Pigman was like, I'll just take the loss. It's fine. I'm like, all right. I was just going to say you could replay same armies if you wanted to. And he was like, oh, okay. Well, sure, if you want that. I'm like, all right. Sounds good. I think his army is disadvantaged, and he even said so. He said in the DMs, he was like, my army was a bit silly anyway. And I'm like, yeah. So I really think Slaanesh is going to win, but I'd rather they just play it out personally. So I'll play a quick battle while they do that. And we'll catch back up with them on the other side. Slaanesh reported the win because at first Pigman said you can have it because he didn't, we hadn't talked about anything yet. And we're waiting on Stormrunner and Mr. Chalk anyway. So if Slaanesh ends up losing, I can change the score easily enough. It's not a big deal. Hey, I got Blags. Hi, Blags. I want to play Lizards. You just finished? Cool. Storm won? Alright, Storm's waiting on his opponent anyway. So I'm going to do this quick battle. Put the blocker up? Nah, it's Bwags in a quick battle. It's fine. If he's going to cheat at a quick battle, then that's okay. You know what? That's okay. We accept it. First Lord to get 3 mentions from different people gets it. Go, 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 go! Different mentions, not just Samurai expanding the same thing. All right, we have Krokgar, Nakai, Tic Tac. All right, Krokgar needs 1 more vote for the win, but Nakai and Tic Tac are on the board. On the T-Rex, Nakai's got 2. Nakai's got 2. Krokgar's got 2. The tiebreaker between them, or does Tic Tac Toe make a comeback? Let's go. Tic Tac. Do we got 2, 2, and 2? Once his face the Blowgun Oxyauto randomly shows up on the leaderboard. Nakai gets it! Nice job, Lewis, with the winning vote. Alright, let's throw Nakai in here. Versus the Wood Elves. There's 3 Krokgars already. Nakai the Croc. I counted that as Nakai. I counted as Nakai. Alright, so we gotta get some spells that Great Book of Grudges enjoys. So we gotta make him proud. We'll go Curse of Honor here and Wissen's Wild Form. We'll do that. That should be enough to make the Book of Grudges happy. That's all we really want. We just want a happy Book of Grudges. That's the Book of Grudges the dwarves never let you see. They're always like, oh, the Demon's Crawl, oh, the Great Book of Grudges, rah, rah, rah. But they never let you see the happy Book of Grudges. Like the High Elves made me a cookie today, and it was nice. I need to make them a cookie in return. You never see that one. And that's why dwarves are poopers. Let's get some Sallies. That's fine. Are they any good? No. Are they really bad? Yes. Why are you taking them? I don't know. Gotta protect my hunting packs with just an unconscionable amount of skink fire. That's too many blow skinks. And blow skinks blow anyway, so who cares? Who cares what they think? Let's get ourselves... let's get... something. Oh, shit, he's ready. Oh, no. Oh, wait. Okay, good. The timer hasn't started, I think. Wait, did it already start and you just canceled it? I don't know. I just work here. Whatever. That's a build. Still need a T-Rex? No. They say an elephant never forgets. I never forget about elephants. Stay woke, gamers. The memes I have in this build are my spell choices, Nakai the Wanderer, and the 2 Razordon packs plus the 2 Salamander packs. I can only go so meme. If you meme too hard, then what's the point? What are you even doing? Throwing. That's what you're doing. And I will not ruin my glorious quick battle stats for your entertainment. I have played maybe 6 quick battles in the entire time of Warhammer 3, and all of them are dubs. Every single one a fat dub. If you're going Razy, you should go high Slaanesh. No! I had Nakai. Chat voted on Nakai. You're too greedy, Book of Grudges. You're too greedy! You see a gift horse. You look a gift horse in the mouth and you say, you, Mr. Gift Horse, belong in a glue factory. I think I mixed metaphors there, but you get the point. Oh yeah, I need skinks to plug the gaps between the Saurus, not be out on the flanks doing nothing. Whoopsies. Enemy troop count is low. Oh, okay, alright, we're feeling good. Feeling good. I'll have jab skinks in the back. I mostly just have the jabs to throw at cavalry, if any exist, that want to flank my Dons. And then we have 2 Feral Bastillodons. I think we're gonna do it. I think we're gonna win. If he went Orion and I have Nakai, Nakai's unironically gonna have a very bad time. Orion will beat his ass. Giant javelins from across the map gonna smoke him in the face, and if we ever get too close, Orion's just gonna run up and thump me. Oh, that shit's too funny. Alright. Let's go. Nakai hard carry incoming? Oh, of course. Actually, though, with the small amount of units he has, I'm feeling pretty good about these... the Dons. Is that triple Way Watcher? That's triple Way Watcher. Alright. That's not cool. That's not cool. That's fine. I'm just being stupid. Ow, poor little Nakai. Dodge, my poor little Nakai. Dodge. Go up. There you go. Alright. Alright, so this is becoming problematic. Where did you come from? I didn't even know Great Stag Knights had a stock or whatever the fuck. Vanguard. Alright. Nakai's wandering over. Bastillodon's hunting some prey. We have Chameleon Stalkers just around. As Orion actually is gonna kind of shit on me. Also not playing particularly great, which is bad. Which is bad. We don't like playing bad. Okay. Nakai's still trying to get in there. I'm gonna Curse of Honor here this area to try and help Steggy. Cast it, cast it, cast it, cast it, cast it. Help Steggy. Okay. You degens, because I put guard mode on you like an idiot, you're all just standing around. That's going fine. Ah, that's not going fine. That's fucking bad. There were more in the trees! There were more in the trees! We should have known! Oh, you guys got left behind. You guys, does everyone in my army have guard mode on, or what the fuck? Why can't anybody pay attention for like more than a second? Alright, I lost Nakai to rampaging because I'm a little stupid. Alright, Razy Daisy's doing their job shooting Orion as everybody in my backfield gets completely fucked up because I am a dumbass. I'm gonna lose because I'm really bad at video games! I'm so bad at video games. It's kind of fucking embarrassing that anybody could ever be this bad, but that's me, that's my life. Nakai's holding on, Nakai's hanging out. We're still trying to kill these spears. Curse of Honor hear them, so they can't do nearly as much damage. The Glizzies are doing their best. We're still shooting at Orion. Oh my god, these great stag knights. They just don't quit. No! Leave me alone, stag knights. Go away! Go away, stag knights! Oh, you're going the dumb way around. Turn, you stupid crocodile bitch! Turn! Alright. The Kai might be dead. As my Razor Dots try and kill a ride. Get him! Get him! Fuck! He's healing. That's not good. That's not good. In fact, that's very bad. Ooh, Sally's. No! Not my boy Nakai! No! They routed him. You bastards, you routed him. Alright. Seriously. Orion is gonna snipe out Nakai, which will route all of my weapons teams, and these great stag knights won't fucking break! Don't let him kill Nakai. No, why did you rampage back here, you dumbass? Get up here. Holy crap, Nakai lived. Okay, Nakai lived. We have a shot. We have a shot as my cat keeps ramming his head into the side of the fucking thing. Yeah, Ed, I hear you. Okay. Let's buff him up just because he does more damage. I'm not using these spells particularly well. Sometimes that's just how it goes. Oof. A heal onto a guy who ain't coming back. Brutal. Alright. We can do it. His archers are running out of ammo. If we can snipe out Orion by casting Curse of Honor here, lowering his melee defense down to 16, we're getting good pokes in. Nakai's still alive. And now I have some weapons teams here trying to get shots in while my skink runs away. Oh, don't do that. Come on, don't do that. And the Great Stag Knights are back. And my mage is routing. God damn it. Wow, he took like no damage from my shots. That's upsetting. I think that's GG. Yeah, we played really bad with our weapons teams. Damn. Your cat's name is Ed? Hell yeah. Yep, I played really badly with my weapons teams and they died. That makes me sad. Also did not have the best build. But I think this build could have beaten the enemy build if I had played better, but I didn't. Just call your vassal as reinforcement with Nakai's special ability. Easy clap. Did Salinator actually win? Okay. While we look for our next thingy. Ah, yes. Okay, you did win, so this is up to date. We have 3 games left, maybe 4, if whoever wins fights Brutus and loses. Wait, no. Whoever wins fights Brutus and wins, then we'll have a 4th game. But Storm versus Sail, winner versus Calamity, winner versus Brutus. Let's get into it. Bum, bum, bum. I always go to the wrong one. Back at... Here we go. Cat says charge. My cat does have pretty good charge bonus. I am upset that I didn't see the Great Stag Knights coming. I am upset with myself for my failures. Why can I just not play well and win games? It's not that hard, you guys. It's not that hard. You just take your controller, because I play Total Warhammer 3 with the controller. You hit all the right buttons in the right order, and then you win the video game. Ah, if that other Great Stag Knight he healed hadn't come back, I could have... Well, then he actually did have that spell from Orion, but I think my weapons teams would have stayed online and maybe could have shot Orion down. They weren't doing very much damage, but maybe. Could have damaged him enough to kill him off, then their leadership would falter, but it was not to be. He was, in fact, too strong. Too Chad. Stormrunner and Salinator gonna do quick picks and bans. Then we have Calamity and Brutus. Storm switches to the Demons of Chaos. Oh no. He's trying to steal a little warp core. He's trying to steal it. Don't steal things, buddy. Shouldn't steal. Was that from the Discord? Yeah. I look at the memes people send. A rat telling us not to steal. Maybe I'm just a different kind of rat. That Metron guy is a schmuck? Yeah, I know. Dude, there's a lot of people I have to ban. I'll get around to it. Said like a bloomer? Not a boomer. A bloomer. Would that be like someone coming into their maturity? Doomsage, you can't correct it now. You're too late. Too late. You lost it. I'm officially a bloomer. Alright, we have Slaanesh, Demons of Chaos. Honestly, not a terrible matchup for Slaanesh. If your opponent doesn't hard blob, which I doubt Stormrunner will, but maybe. But even then, man. They're good at punishing low leadership, which they can get from demonic instability. And if they get kills while you're under demonic instability, they get a bunch of stuff. Nakari can do okay in this matchup for once. Not great, but okay. Because his heal, he has a way bigger heal than the Exalted Keeper. But he gets it off of stuff dying next to him, like complete units getting deleted, which only applies to undead or demons. No mortal unit's ever going to die like in an efficient manner for Nakari. Slaanesh, Doc. Why is patch 4.1 a myth? I wish it was real. I want to be a real boy. Demons of Chaos build is on its way. Slaanesh is done and ready. What will Stormrunner bring? Will it be Bellicor or the other ones? If Throughout the Unclean was on Demons of Chaos, would you smash? Think about that. Think about that. Think about it. Groot, it's true. Slaanesh is the winning team. I was thinking about making a video a while ago, and then I decided not to because it sucks. But what faction has the worst army abilities? And I was debating between Nurgle and Khorne. Because Sword of Khorne is alright. It is alright. It's not great. It's not even good, I would say, because you have to stack up to tier 3 to get it. And Khorne is a very predictable way to stack, so like you usually want to go with a small elite build versus Khorne so they can't get as many kills. And the Sword of Khorne is not even majority armor piercing for some fucking reason, so it's just alright. I would put it very middle of the road. Horn of Khorne deceptively sucks. And here's why. Shut up. Here's why. Shut up. Just let me explain myself. Shut up! Here's why Horn of Khorne sucks. And you're wrong, and I'm right. Valkia gives plus melee attack. Frenzy gives plus melee attack. Mark of Khorne gives everything it has Frenzy, so you have more melee attack. Herald of Khorne gives like 3 different buffs for melee attack, and already your units have high melee attack. So you have melee attack all over the place. The problem for Khorne isn't hitting stuff. If you have 89 melee attack versus someone with 16 melee defense, popping a Horn of Khorne and getting 24 more melee attack, oh boy. Instead of hitting 95% of the time, you're going to hit 96% of the time. It sucks. It sucks. Horn of Khorne would be much better if it was a damage increase, because Khorne already has the stats to hit stuff. He doesn't have the stats to survive. He doesn't have the stats to kill stuff. So Horn of Khorne should probably switch to like increasing the damage of the stuff in the range. And then the tier 2 army ability for Khorne is pretty meh. It's meh. I've seen some niche uses of it, but it's meh. So like you have 3 pretty abilities. And then Nurgle, Curse of the Slug is not great. I would put it under the meh category. Fecundity is amazing, the tier 2 arm ability. It's not like super overpowered, but it is good. And then the tier 3 of Nurgle is objectively useless. It's complete ass garbage. So then in that aspect, it's like, okay, you have one good spell, an ass spell, versus 3 ass spells. It seems tied. But Khorne gets his by killing your army, so you can build to make it harder for Khorne to get any of his passive. Nurgle just gets it for taking damage. So if you're playing the game, Nurgle gets his passive. And it's like, oh, okay, well, that's kind of a boon. So I don't know. I might put Nurgle above Khorne. But then that's really hard for me to do, because just thinking about the Khorne army abilities versus the Nurgle abilities, I'd rather have Khorne's. Because one good ability, hooray, but like, Rot, the glorious Rot is fucking dog shit. At least the Sword of Khorne can like punish a blob of chaff. Slaanesh has the best abilities? Yeah, Slaanesh or Tzeentch. They're both really good. It's funny that there's 2 that are competing for the top, and there's 2 that are competing for the worst. Hey, Doriferous, how are you doing, man? Alright. Let's get into it. Salinator versus Stormrunner. We have 3 Marauder Horsemen of Slaanesh, 2 Chaos Knights of Slaanesh, 2 Chosen of Slaanesh, and then 4 Devoted Marauders of Slaanesh, all with Hell Scourges, including the Chosen. And an Exalted Keeper of Secrets of Slaanesh, with Vein of Slaanesh and Lash of Slaanesh. Hey, what army is this again? I'm actually not sure what army I'm casting right now. I'm a little confused. Is it Slaanesh or Tzeentch? On the other side, we have the Eternal Entourage, Heartseeker Regiment of now. We have a regular Seeker of Slaanesh, 2 Plague Drones of Nurgle with the Death's Head shots, Chaos Fury of Tzeentch, Svarik, the Feathered Prince with pink and blue fires, plus his Gaze of Fate, and Hidden in Time. What the fuck is that? Stock and Unspottable. Okay, never seen that before in my life. We have the Hellforged Host, plus the Frolicker's Bubonic, and some more Nurglings as a frontline, though the Nurglings are getting raffle stomped right now by Slaanesh. They're not having a good time. Chaos Knights of Slaanesh are netted in place with Gaze of Fate, lowering their melee attack to probably 0. Yeah, near 0, but it's actually still existent. But mostly you just wanted the net so that he could get, Stormrunner could get his Seekers in here with their armor-piercing values and their rear charge bonus. They will get a lot of work done onto those Chaos Knights, and it is already occurring. The Death's Heads are trying to snipe out the Exalted Keeper of Secrets. And they're doing okay at that. I think the main concern I have for this Demons of Chaos army is it's very set up to kill the Exalted Keeper of Secrets and even the Chaos Knights. That's all great, but what do you kill the infantry with? Ooh, I guess the Hellforged Host. Yeah, the Hellforged Host could kind of slap this Slaanesh build. If the Cav are out of the question. Your Zypher just on a different account. Alright, Durfers, alright. Alright, good to see you. Anyway, sorry, got distracted by chat for a second. Both of our Seekers, the ROR and the regular Seeker, are about to Demonic Instability crumble, though, which is unfortunate for them. And most of the Nurglings have faded away, so we're quickly getting down to just the meat and potatoes of this army. Plague Drones, Hellforged Host, and Svarik versus a lot of leftover infantry. Like, a lot of leftover infantry. Though the Exalted Keeper of Secrets is dead and gone from Salinator. For Salinator, he has 3 extremely wounded, but very, very heavy on ammunition skirmish cabs. So if he can keep them alive, they could do a lot of work for him. He has 1 healthy Chaos Knight and a shitload of chaff. Like, so much chaff. And the Death's Heads Plague Drones are running low on ammunition, which is free guaranteed value, since the Slaanesh roster can't really contest them in the skies. Even their skirmish cab isn't going to do that much to Death's Heads. The Death's Heads are not using the last of their ammunition on the Chaos Knights of Slaanesh, which could prove to be a costly mistake, as these Chaos Knights are going to get a charge on the Hellforged Host, but no, they run into their own Devoted Marauders and kind of stop their charge halfway through, so they do have to back out. If the Death's Heads get onto the Chaos Knights in melee and the Chaos Knights just sit and accept it, all like might be happening soon, Death's Heads can fuck up Chaos Knights. I mean, they have armor piercing, they have decent stats, they have a high weapon strength, things like that. The Eternal Entourage in the distance, barely clinging to life against some Chaos Knights, getting good damage out while they still can. And Devoted Marauders get massacred by the Hellforged Host. Not even close. But the net has worn off, and the Plague Drones are just now starting to dive into melee combat, so maybe the Chaos Knights of Slaanesh can get out of here for Salinator, but it doesn't look like it so just yet. Nice blue fire down a giant clump of infantry, though the Hellforged Hosts are taking more damage than I honestly would have suspected. But these Chaos Knights still being in melee combat is a big problem for Slaanesh. They need to get out of here. Balance power is tipping pretty heavily against Slaanesh, and Salinator does just opt out. I think that was probably the right call. Demons of Chaos and Stormrunner push on, defeating my tournament favorite. Though Stormrunner was in my top 3. Brutus and Calamity are upsets I did not predict it whatsoever. So Stormrunner is my last hope for being kind of right about who would win today's tournament. And if you care about the bracket, I will take you over here where you can see that right now. Stormrunner's going to move up. Calamity and him will fight. And the winner of that will fight Brutus. I'm going to report the score. Boop. There. Now I can have both on at the same time. We only got to see one game of Calamities today, and it was Slaanesh versus the Vampire Counts of Brutus. I actually don't know what Calamity's mains are. So I wonder if the Slaanesh was just a one-off silly thing, or if it was actually, this is just what he does. This is what he plays. Calamity. I fucking love that name. I'll never not love that name. What's he got? What's he got? Actually, that's funny. Brutus knocked out both Stormrunner and Calamity. So both of them are trying to get back to the finals to beat his ass, and I can almost guarantee you Brutus ain't getting Vampire Counts again. I can almost guarantee it. No shot. That dude's been rolling this tournament with Vampire Counts this whole time. Both these players lost to him. They get back to the finals, and if they're like, I'm going to let you play Vampire Counts again. Just see what happens. I find that suspect. 2 to 3 games left in the stream. This, then the finals, and if whoever wins this also wins in the finals, they'll have to beat Brutus a second time. VC blobs is no fun. Yeah. Agreed. They gotta shoot him. You can't out-blob the VC. Actually, certain factions can, but in general, you can't out-blob the VC. You just gotta shoot him down. Which I think Boags tried to. Yeah, you had 2 Deepwood Scouts. That was a pretty close game. You were close to beating it. I think Army Losses was a little bullshit on that one. I think Brutus was ahead, and I think he was in a good position, but I don't think it was over. Because, like, one Flock of Doom from Durthu, and the Blood Knights probably would have been crumbling again, especially if they opted into a fight with all those Dryads. And then you had a wounded Durthu, a metric shit ton of Dryads, versus like literally just the Strigoi Lord at that point, wasn't it? Because there was a crumbling, almost dead skeleton. The Graveguard were dead, or were they still alive barely? I don't remember. But anyway, my main point being is Durthu could finish off the Blood Knights pretty easily. The Dryads could finish off the Chaff pretty easily, and then it's just a Strigoi Lord versus a bunch of Chaff, which we all know dragon-type characters hate just sitting Chaff. Now, I think while Durthu killed the Blood Knights, the Strigoi Lord might have been able to finish him off, and then without him, the Dryads were out, which is why I'm saying I think the Vampire Counts were probably going to win, but I still think that the army loss was a little premature in that first game. Mikhail. You outlawed the VC with Wood Elves. It's possible. It's not recommended. Lord Croak, blob your stuff, I dare you. Oh, we get our first Dark Elves of the day. Who's excited? Hands up if you're excited to see Dark Elves for the 90th time in Warhammer 3. Hands up. Hands up if you're ready for Soul Stealer. My hands are up. The camera's off. You can't tell, but my hands are up right now. I look like I'm going down a roller coaster with how excited I am for Soul Stealer. Holy shit, I'm so excited. Excuse me. Charybdis time, baby. We'll see. I don't know if Stormrunner's actually on Demons of Chaos or not. Well, we're glad to have you back. I'm here. Late summer, early fall was a very busy time for me, but now I'm back. I'm streaming more. We're doing some good shit. Yeah, Brutus. Perfect assessment right there. I don't think I would have lost the first game, but agreed army loss was too early. Yeah. I think the Wood Elves had teeth. Basically, my criteria for when I say army losses is too early is I think army losses should happen. And there's no way for CA to program this. Okay, there's no possible way for CA to program this. But my personal ranking of army losses is if the Vampire Counts took their hands off the keyboard, could the Wood Elves win? And in that instance, yes. I think if Brutus played badly, pretending army losses didn't happen, if he YOLO'd his Strigoi Lord in without cycle charging the Blood Knights, his Lord would have taken significant damage from Durthu and then had to back off. Or if he had mistimed his charge, so his Blood Knights went in without the Strigoi Lord at all, so Durthu got to kill them for free while not being punished by the Strigoi Lord. And then the Dryad swept up the Skeleton Spearman. Then the exact situation I talked about happened where the Strigoi is now alone with Durthu and a bunch of support, and he loses. I think those are things that could have happened. Now, if Brutus continued to play as well as he was, then yeah, he was going to win. But that's what's being in the lead does that. If you don't make any mistakes, you'll win. So I think if we were at a point where it's like, okay, Durthu's dead, there's some Dryads, and the Vampire Counts player could just stop playing, and the AI would be able to pilot this to a victory, then I think army losses should kick in and just save you some time. But it looks like Stormrunner did go with the mirror, like he mentioned in chat. He said the temptation to mirror is strong. Might have as many Dark Elves as you can imagine. The most possible Dark Elves in one game. Oh my god. I'm ready. I said I'm ready. Hold on, now I have to find it. If the stream gets shut down, just know that it was worth it.
Hold on. Okay, I'm ready. I said I'm ready.
I said I'm ready. Grace and I actually quote that a lot. If you ever say you're ready for something, you follow it up with, "I said I'm ready." This is either the longest con for literally no reason, or it is a Dark Elf mirror, because one army's ready and the other army's almost ready. So this would be a long walk to go to switch your army at the end. Just annoy me. $19 gold left for Stormrunner. 55 gold left for Calamity. I know it's like technically you could just say Calamity because you don't pronounce the B in lamb. You just say lamb. But I actually, I don't know. I can't stop myself from doing it. Now I kind of like it. Calamity. Because it could just be Calamity. You don't have to say the B. Calamity. Oh my god! It's so good, CJ. If you're still in the chat, I love that. Remove your hand from the box and die. What's in the box? A single player game that makes you create an account. Dude, fuck that shit. I'm trying to play Remnant 2 with the boys, with the lads, the gits. And we beat the campaign. And then there was an update, so we went back to it. And now, for some reason, not for them, just for me, I can't play online unless I have the Epic Games launcher installed on my computer. Even though it's through Steam, you need the Epic Games launcher installed on your computer somewhere, which I didn't have, which they don't either, which was also strange. But I installed it, played it them, and then after that, I got rid of it and did some testing on my own, and now it works. So it's like installing it, then uninstalling it allows me to play online in Remnant 2. But having never had it at all, I can't play it. And that shit just pisses me off, where it's like, dude, I don't need Steam and Epic Games and everything and Battle Pass and all this shit just to play a game that I bought. Just to play the game that I bought. Did I buy it on Epic Games? No. Then I don't really want to use the Epic Games launcher. I bought it on Steam. If it's not available on Steam, then don't put it on Steam. You might be like, oh, but maybe you need to... Nope. Nope. If I wanted to buy it on Epic Games, I would have bought it there. Fuck you. Honestly, the Warhammer launcher is very similar to that, where it's like, I have a shortcut on my desktop that I just click it and the game starts up, but I know if you click on Total War Games from Steam, it takes you to like this weird mini launcher, where you click on, and I know I'm being overly simplified, and I know I'm being stupid, but there's a part of me that when I click on it and it's like, hey, we opened this launcher. It looks here you wanted to play a Total War Warhammer 3. If you really want to play Total War Warhammer 3, just hit that play button down there. And I'm like, hey, listen, dumbass. If I double-clicked on it in Steam and said, hey, play this game and start this game, and Steam said, hey, you want to start this game? And I said, yes, I got that far. You don't need to pop up and also say, are you sure you want to play this game? I'm sure. I picked it. Open the fucking game. Fucking, sometimes you open a game and it's like you're trying to buy meth or something, or like there's just so many pop-ups. They're like, are you sure you want to play Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild? I was, but now that you're asking me so much, I don't know. I didn't know this was that divisive of an issue. I didn't know I had to think 2, 3, even 4 times about launching this game. Is there something I don't know about Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild? Is it fucked up and I didn't know that? Why are you asking me so many times? Anyway, I digress. What are we doing? Oh yeah, Dark Elf Mirror. Ah, Marathi Mirror. Classic. Classic. Anyway, focusing. For Stormrunner, the Memer Incarnate, the admin on my server. Siren of Red Rune, Bloodrack Medusa, Regiment of Renown with her AoE damage scream thing that she can only use twice for some reason. This unit would be still pretty meh if it could use its Screech infinite times, but it is straight up bad that it can only use it twice. 2 Sisters of Slaughter, 1 Witch Elf Regiment of Renown, the Sisters of Singing Doom, then an unholy air force of double Manticore, Marathi, and a Master with Guardian. I see it too, I'll deal with it. She has her Doom Bolt that is bound to her, then Melkoth's, Pit of Shades, and Soul Stealer. There are 5 single entities here. I know, you're only supposed to have 4. We'll see if it matters. I strongly suspect that Calamity's build is going to win. It appears better, and in a mirror match, you have no inherent advantage over your opponent. So I think Calamity will win, and if he wins, the rule break's not a problem. If Stormrunner wins, we'll deal with it. On the other side, we have 2 Cold One Knights, 5 Dark Shards, including the Bolt Fiends, and then 7 Chaff, 4 of which are Black Arc Corsairs, 3 are Bleak Swords. We also have a Canyon Assassin with Assassin's Trophy, and we have Marathi with also Pit of Shades and Melkoth's, but no Soul Stealer for her. Doubled Marathi, doubled the fun. Yeah. I deserve everything that's coming my way in chat. Stormrunner is one of those builds where I'm just so unsure where his money went. And I know, like, on paper, it's like, okay, I know Sisters of Slaughter are over 1,000 gold. I know Sisters of Singing Doom are about 1,000 gold. I know the Manticores are almost 1,000 gold apiece. I know the Siren of Red Ruins probably about 1,000 gold. But just looking at it, I'm like, where did the money go? I feel like there's 2,000 gold just sitting around somewhere. Meanwhile, the 7 Chaff of these Dark Elves is going to keep their Dark Shards safe for so long. The Dark Shards should be able to delete all 3 of the infantry units of the enemy. And then you just have some single entities and flyers stuck fighting so much stuff. I mean, Stormrunner marches by the beat of his own drum. He just has fun. He lives his best life every goddamn day, and I'm jealous of that. But also, I think he's lost this one. Red Rune is 1650. Yeah, it's pretty brutal. Am I the only one who thinks Marathi has too much hair?
It is so.
It's way too much hair. Spoopy. Alright, let's see if they can do it. Here comes the first Bound Wand of Koraidon bolt. And it got canceled somehow, but now it's coming back. On the Sister Singing Doom, that's probably a better target. Single entities can dodge that kind of spell by just moving, or at least multi-entity models. It'll still hit the backside of them, so still do a little bit of damage like that. Bolt Fiends are in range. They turn slightly before firing, just to style on them. Just to completely style on these fools. They fire diagonal. Because why the fuck not? First of many Pit of Shades, I imagine, hits the Dark Shards and a couple Cold One Knights, but I need the counter Pit of Shades in, probably for the Sisters of Slaughter. Oh no, Marathi's going out alone to fight a bunch of single entities. She's outnumbered by herself, which means she doesn't even have a stat advantage because the other one of her is just as good as her, and she's down to half HP, and she's taking a lot of damage. Melkoth's going to slow her down, and I'm very, very frightened. Crows of Cain get into the backline. Cold Knights are going to have to countercharge. Meanwhile, Sisters of Slaughter and Sisters of Singing Doom are getting through the front line, but the Sisters of Singing Doom are almost dead for their efforts. God damn. Harpies are getting pushed off, and the Siren of Red Ruins firing in, doing good shit. Good shit, good stuff. There's a Pit of Shades. It was saved to counterfire against Dark Riders, interestingly enough. I mean, I personally prefer it on the Sisters of Slaughter, but I guess Calamity's just really worried about their mobility shutting down all of his archers, so saves the Pit of Shades for the Dark Riders. Does a really good amount of damage to them. Might even push them off, but the Crows of Cain are still going to be here, and this backline is entirely disrupted. Now, the Dark Riders should lose to the Cold Knights, but it's going to take some time, and time is not on the Blue Dark Elves' side at the moment. Though both of Red Sisters of Slaughter have also taken a lot of damage, even without the Dark Shards, and even without Pits of Shades and stuff. But man, Red is way up on balance of power, as Dark Riders are going to run over the Bolt Fiends, and a Doom Bolt takes care of them. Crows of Cain are just healing up on some Dark Shards at the moment, and Blue Marathi is running away for some spooky, scary Manticores. Black Arc Corsairs are trying to fend off the last of these guys and get rid of the Sisters of Singing Doom so that Dark Shards can stop getting rampaged for once. That would be really great. I imagine they are saying. Marathi takes another charge from a Manticore. And Cold Knights are trying to help out, but she might have dove in too greedily and too deep, as Dark Riders could pin her on the ground so that the Manticores and the other Marathi can catch up to her. And this is looking like a bit of a disaster for the blue team. Another Pit of Shades from Red will take out more infantry units, but the Sisters of Slaughter are officially routed off. Other Sisters of Slaughter take a bolt to the back, so Red has almost no infantry left. They're relying pretty heavily on those 5 single entities we saw before. But Army Losses is coming in for the blue side. They've just taken too much damage. They don't have enough left in the tank, and Cold One Knights still suck giga ass. Cold Knights are so terrible. I'm kind of starting to despise them. Here comes their one hope at redemption. Cold Knights surrounding large targets, but with a Manticore rear charging them, I imagine the Cold Knights might even rout soon. Marathi's taking big damage, and she might just trigger army losses all on her own. And Stormrunner's Marathi even has Soul Stealer if he needs it, but a Whale of Malice will take out the Cold Knights and end this here game. They and Cold and Spears deserve each other. 1,300 damage value for one, to be fair. 300 for the other. Dark Riders, 500 and 500. Black Ark Corsairs did okay. Bleak Swords did okay. Dark Shards got largely shut down. On the other side, Red Medusa got almost 2,000 value. Blood Rack Medusa, wow. She got 1,700. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. Sisters of Slaughter did okay. Sisters of Singing Doom did okay. Manticores were annoying and harassed the backline. And that is about that. GG. All right, we're waiting 1 second. Everybody calm down. Everybody remain calm. I'm gonna grab water while I wait for Kalam's response. No. Yes. No. Yes. No. No response yet. I'll give it another 2 minutes. If he doesn't respond by then I'll just assume that he's fine with it, since he didn't contest it. I'm watching Castlevania again. I think I'm on season 3. I'm not super great with knowing what season I'm in, because it's not the new one. I was watching the old one to to get ready for the new one, which I've heard mixed things with the new one. Some people said it's ass, some people said it's great. So, I don't know. I'm at the part where those weird twins from Japan are gonna kill Alucard for no reason. I know some people say it's like, well, he's a vampire and they hate vampires, so we're... I don't know. I don't believe it. It was so weird that, like, he took him in, they're having, like, a great time. They've hung out for months, and then they're like, there's some things you aren't telling us. And he's like, yeah, I need more time to set this stuff up and teach you all the things I know. And they're like, no, we'll just kill you and, like, figure it out on our own. Even though we haven't been able to figure it out on our own, and you've let us have total access to everything. And they're like, there's certain parts of the castle you aren't showing this. Yeah, but you can go there without him if you want to. He's not stopping you. But you don't know what any of it is. You need him to teach you those things. So what's killing him going to accomplish? You're stupid. You two are stupid. And then I've watched it before, so I know they die. Because they do really stupid things. All right. All right, Brutus versus Stormrunner will be the finals. Calamity hasn't responded yet, and since it's a for-fun tournament with no prize, I'll just assume that it's fine. All right, now that Brutus is here, I'm going to get a blocker up, and then I am going to grab some water. BRB, this is finals. If Brutus beats Stormrunner, it is over. If Stormrunner wins game 1, we do go to a game 2 since Brutus is undefeated. He's in the winner's bracket. And while they do picks and bans, if you care, here is that very same bracket. What is this? Who wants something from me? All right, there. I dealt with that. All right, baby. Hi, Hazel. Hi, puppy. Hi, puppy. And you're like, Dad, why has your door been closed? Dad. Dad. Why has your door been closed? Hi. Hi there.
Oh, you're so good. Oh, you're so good.
She's like, Dad, you never close your door unless Mom's home and working, which she is. She is home and she is working today, but that's no excuse, Dad. You can't close your door. What a terrible bracket, not one lizard. There's still time. There's still time, my friend. Someone convinced the players to take Saurus and Croc scores. Easy. Brutus is currently hovering Brettonia. I'll observe behind the blocker if an army is actually being built. The Stormrunner switch to Beastmen and put a couple things together. They will never see it coming. Hey, I play Lizardman for you, Vanthus. And I won. And if you rewind the stream, I definitely won. And I didn't fuck up. Hi, Hazel. Hi, little lady. Why are you so mopey? Why are you so mopey? Brutus switches over to vampire counts. I don't know how they got it again, but they did. And at some point, I blame the players. I know I don't have a camera, and right now I would be making the camera bigger to show you all puppy dogs. So just imagine a big brown and white mixed puppy dog with just the cutest eyes staring at me saying, "Dad, I know I had lunch, and I know dinner isn't for 3 hours, but what if Brenner?" No, it would be Lunner? Lunner or Dunch? Alright, Dunch. She wants Dunch. Looks like the matchup is, in fact, Vampire Counts Beastmen. It's here. It's happening. This was a very common matchup in our last faction face-off, or 2 faction face-offs ago. But let's see how this goes. Dude, we're going to be so busy after patch 4.1 comes out. I'm going to have a patch notes stream. I'm going to have a grinding stream where I just play a shit ton on the patch. My nations event begins where like teams from different nations compete to win a fancy prize. My next faction face-off will start as soon as patch 4.1 is good to go. Got a lot of shit to do. Yeah, another blob. I don't know why people aren't banning this against Brutus. I'm shocked he got vampire counts in the finals, considering that he knocked Storm out with this. Though Storm did take some silliness with Corrin and Scarbrand and whatnot, so maybe he's like, alright, if I play a little more serious, I can fuck up this vampire counts. Maybe that's the thought. It's not correct. Vampire counts are literally unkillable. It's a good thought. Whoop. Here we go. A Beastman build with very little frontline is going to attempt to kill the vampire counts. And Brutus getting serious, bringing out the Blood Dragon Lord that we all know and love. Is this the end? Do the vampire counts win the whole tournament for Brutus? Or do we go to a second game? And will Stormrunner try and carry the hopes of the living? I don't know. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care about this. I don't care about anything. I care about nothing. For the Beastmen, we have a Jabberscythe, a Gorgon, the Bloodbrute Behemoth to be specific, Malagor Dark Omen with Flock of Doom, Mantle of Gorok, and Doom and Darkness. Interesting. 4 Ungor Raiders, 2 Razorgore Herds, 2 Dogs, Chaos Warhounds with Poison. And then I thought I saw 2 Centaurs with Great Weapons. There they are. One is the Sons of Goros. The Sons of Goros have piss poor melee stats for an ROR. Good God. 29-29 is fucking garbage. Okay. Anyway. On the other side, for the Vampire Counts, we have a Blood Dragon Vampire Lord. First time seeing him today is all of his buffs, plus his zombie summon and invocation mech. Corpse card, Unholy Lodestone, the healing AoE corpse card. Then the Mortis engine. 3 Crypt Horrors, 5 zombies. 4 Skeleton Warriors with spears, 1 without. We have the Dire Pack, Direwolves, Regiment of Renown, and 1 Blood Knight. That's spooky. That's spooky. I'm scared for the Beastmen because they have literally 0 frontline. So they're going to have to try and kite, but I don't know. It can be really hard for Ungor Raiders to kite. 36 speed is decent, but if they get summoned on by the Blood Dragon Lord, or if Crypt Horrors catch up to them, or the Dire Pack and Blood Knights catch up to them, I'm just scared that their defenders are Centaurs with Great Weapons, which are a unit I infamously despise. I think they are trash. I think they are trash. Maybe that's what the Mantle of Gorok is for. The plus 40 melee attack and plus 50% more weapon strength. And then your Centaurs already only have 35 armor, so I guess taking their armor down to 15 doesn't matter as much. Or taking it down to 0, I guess. I don't know. I'm still not a fan of the Centaurs with the great weapons. We will see. What exactly is going on with the Mortis engine? Are the skeletons carrying it? Are the horses drawing it forward? What's the plan here? What's going on? Because the horses aren't connected to it by anything. The skeletons are, but they aren't even touching the ground. And if they aren't touching the ground, then why does anything need to touch the ground? If it's floating, then why have bearers? I don't know what's happening, and I don't really like it. Fuck you, Mortis engine. I need some visual consistency in my fantasy game models. Single entities are wandering forward. They're not that concerned, because if a blob of Crypt Horrors forms on them, like we saw versus Slaanesh and Torn, then the archers get to tear the blob apart. And if the vampire counts want to run down the archers, then they have to stay separate, and if they don't blob up on the single entities, then single entities should destroy them. That is at least what I believe Stormrunner's thinking. Razor Pigs running away for now, as the Beastmen set up some flanks, Sons of Goros and dogs getting around the front line. I thought there was 2 dogs. There's the other dog. Jibber Jabber also backing off. Kind of surprised he doesn't want to just jump in for some of the action. But the Gorgon is back here, challenging the Blood Knights to a duel. Malagor has 121 speed, but he's going to have to be careful to stay away from that Blood Dragon Vampire Lord. For now, the Beastmen are kiting it out. I think they're really trying to bait the Blood Knights into a fight in the backfield, which it looks like Brutus just has no interest in doing. And I'm actually getting a little concerned that the Blood Knights just path onto the archers, and there's nothing up here that can stop them except for a Razorgore herd, which they can demolish. So, yeah, I think the vampire counts are super happy to just get onto the archers for free. Razorgore herds come back out, say hello. And Brutus's Dire Pack do get caught for a second. Now they turn and start to fight a bit, but they're taking a lot of damage, and the Jabber Scythe is going to roll through them. Bap. And they do fine. Centaur is running into zombies, but it looks like that literally, they just ran into them. They didn't actually charge them because they just stopped dead. Here's what I was worried about. Zombies summoned right on top of the Ungor Raiders, so they can't retreat, and now Blood Knights are already at them. Now some dogs are opting in, but the dogs versus Blood Knights is not a good fight without Centaurs with Great Weapons even remotely close by. Gorgon is killing off some Crypt Horrors, so good for him. Razorgore herd's fighting zombies in the distance, but all of the archers are getting run down. Like, these two are constantly on the run. This one's firing for a brief second before Blood Knights are just going to run uphill and kill him. And man, look at the damage that these dogs have taken. One's already terror-routing off. The other one's about to rout off. Razorgore herds are taking a lot of damage. I'm concerned. Blood Dragon Lord lands on the Ungor Raiders. The Doom and Darkness is out onto the Crypt Horrors, trying to get them to crumble, I guess, a bit faster, but I don't know. With the Slaanesh, I at least saw the Phantasmagoria value, where you get them negatives to start they start crumbling, so you can heal up your Slaanesh Lord, and you net them so they can't reposition. But Doom of Darkness, I mean, unless you get them to negative 55 leadership where they disintegrate, the crumbling's not going to matter. So I think that's unfortunately a bit of a waste of Winds of Magic. Ungor Raiders, 2 are routing, 2 are technically still here, though 1 is in melee combat. The Jabberscythe currently getting sniped up by the Blood Dragon Lord, who does have his 1k weapon strength, chunking down that big boy. And I think we might be seeing the beginning of the end for our friends the Beastmen, as these Centaurs of Great Weapons just sit here and try and churn through the massive vampire counts. They're not going to be able to do it. Dogs really haven't had too much of a purpose in this game. The Jabberscythe just got entirely massacred. Still have a full health Blood Knight, full health Blood Dragon Lord, and all of the archers are in disarray, that now the Blood Knights can just cycle run them down and shatter them off. Big old overcasted Flock of Doom on half of the Vampire Count's army, but it is negligible damage at best. The Blood Dragon Lord is not letting that Jabberscythe go anywhere. Tzeentch is trying to rejoin the fight, but at this point there's nothing he even needs to do. Yeah, he just backs out. I think that's viable. I think Brutus recognized an opportunity to run through the front line and with his 2 mobility pieces and just get onto the archers, and he took it. And then from there, Centaur's Great Weapons just got stuck fighting random ass chaff. 300 value, 600 value for them. Dogs struggled, Jabberscythe struggled. Razor Gores did okay. But GG. So that'll be it. Brutus and the Vampire Counts will take it today, winning our new player tournament. Good job, good job. GG, well played. Brutus, congrats on the win. Thanks to everybody who played today. Had some pretty good games. A lot of vampires. Shit happens. Shit happens. Good job, Stormrunner, for getting to the finals. Calamity for the semifinal run. And that's about it. That's all I have for you guys. Oh, what do we got in the future? We do have the 2v2 campaign stream coming up Saturday. And that'll be fun. Let's see if there's anyone I need to throw to. Warhammer 3. Live. Is there anyone I can send to? Legend of Total War. Baldur's Gate 3. Legend of Total War streaming a different game, though. Dude, no one's playing Warhammer 3 on YubTub. Tzeentch. You have come at the end. So yeah. Good job, Brutus. Good job. And yeah, 2v2 campaign streams. Saturday is all I currently have on the books. Next week, if there is a patch, I'll have a patch day stream for both the patch notes and grinding through stuff. We'll have a new player tournament as we do every week, though. I hope the patch comes out on Tuesday, although it almost always comes out on a Friday. Thursday. Because it would be nice to have the new player tournament on the new patch. But I'll figure it out. Anyway, goodbye.